Alright, we're gonna put that away. I think we're gonna start the stream now. How we all doing, everyone? Look who's looking us dead in our eyes today. It is DSPGaming, here with yet another fucking emergency. Because apparently we just keep hopping from one emergency to the next emergency to the next emergency. Because that's the only thing that gets some money anymore, apparently. Because God forbid a gaming channel plays video games and games. Everything keeps happening. First it was like... Wait, what happened before this? I'm so lost. Like, my brain's already frazzled. First it was the whole holiday thing. And then it was the whole internet thing. And like, he's so far behind in all these games that he's supposed to have finished already by now. And then it's like, he says he's gonna play that new like Avatar video game that's coming out soon, like in a day or two also. And he did mention that he might actually play Baldur's Gate 3 for the Christmas marathon if it's voted enough for. So you know what we need to do. If he puts up a poll for what games he should play in the Christmas marathon, we all have to get on there to get him to play Baldur's Gate 3. That's number one right there. Okay. But yeah, this is the whole nother arc we're starting, I guess, because we can't just go more than like a week without some silly ass fucking nonsense happening, apparently. But oh, it's always the troll's fault. He did nothing wrong. And we should always remember that he did nothing wrong whatsoever. Because, of course, Phil is perfect. He never makes a mistake, you know. There's a few things that strike me as a bit odd and make me not want to believe that this is... I screwed up that poll. I just said yes or no. I should have put, like, is it like... Yes will be he's faking it. No means he's not faking it. That's what it should be. So let me just clarify that because I fucked it up. But well, I don't restream him playing games, so you don't have to worry about that. He might mention it or something, but I don't have the patience to sit and restream him playing a game. The best I can do for you is like going over like his like pre-stream podcast thing, whatever you want to call it. I can do that, but I don't have the patience to sit there and actually watch his actual gameplay unless I'm watching it through a filter of a detractor. And even then it's tough sometimes. I don't know if that Avatar game is going to be good or not. I don't really think it will be, but that's just me. But let's get started. I want to mostly go over his pre-stream podcast, his bullshit podcast, the day after. I'm back, full update and everything, dude. But before we do that, I want to do a quick introduction on what happened in case people are new and haven't heard of it yet from Memology. So we're going to go over this really quick, just as a warm-up, a refresher course. And when he talks about it, I'll bring it up, but it seems like it's kind of sus to me. I don't think, like, I will say this right off the bat. DSP is not smart enough to pull this off on his own, I don't think. Now, is someone messing with him? Probably, but I don't think he's 100% making this up because he can't laugh at himself. So he would never actually put Panda Lee is hot as his, like, the name of his Wi-Fi password. He would never actually put that up. He would never actually put up Greedy Piggy as, like, because I think you can go into your own router or modem and change the names of that yourself as a customer. No, you can do that. But I don't think his ego's too big to allow him to make fun of himself in that way, even if it is for a long con like that. I don't think he can do that. I think like his ego takes precedence over possible income and money any day. It really does, right? So I don't think that's something he would do. I don't really think it's a actual employee there. I don't know yet. I think maybe someone just possibly hacked it. I know. Hold on. I know Prophet did a stream, and he's like very tech savvy. Also, I see Detractor Beam is also streaming right now, so that's cool. You guys can go check them out too if you want. I don't expect to get a whole bunch of people watching mine right now because like other people are streaming. DSP, I forget what his actual. Was it a live? Yeah, he did a whole ass stream here. And I haven't had a chance to watch this yet.
This portion.
I haven't had a chance to watch this yet, but I do recommend you actually watch this because he is really tech savvy and that kinds of things. So, and then you obviously had the guy who supposedly did this on QE Farms trying to claim he did it, and we don't know. So again, you can check this if you want more of a analytical take on it and everything. Let me put the link. And definitely give him a sub because he is very knowledgeable about a whole bunch of technological things and as well as DSP shit. So definitely take a look at that, but let's get started here.
My name is Phil Burnell, more commonly known as DSP or darksydephil.
More commonly known as douchebag.
A YouTube channel called DSPGaming. It's been my job for over
15
years.
Why is he... I don't want this to go forever, but why is he starting this off with this like bullshit like... In case you don't know who I am, dude, it's like he really expects a Comcast employee to sit down and watch this bullshit? So we need like a 15-minute fucking backstory on his whole fucking life. I worked at a helicopter job, and then I did this, and then I did that. Like, what?
And
no,
I'm a full-time
stop.
internet content creator and live streamer.
Oh my god.
Although I am a long-time content creator and streamer, sadly there is a malicious community of people that follow me around the internet who don't like me. And they've done things over the years.
Probably because you're a bad fucking person who deserves it. This is your karma, Phil. You created the beast, and now you complain that the beast is too strong and powerful.
To hurt me and my family because they don't like me for various reasons. But that's
no one is trying to hurt your fucking family. It's only you, Phil. No one's... And compared to, like, Wings trolls and shit, he's gotten off really fucking light in terms of trolling in general.
I am broadcasting a special stream and recording this for YouTube as a way to document what is going on in my life right now and as a cry for help because I need help right now.
Cry for help.
And it seems like
please, Comcast CEO, please take time out of your day to come and watch this, please. You gotta help me.
No one is willing to help. So allow me to explain what's going on because...
You gotta take action on your own, Phil. If this really is an Comcast employee that's doing this, you probably actually like, I hate to say it, but he probably, if this is a real fucking Comcast employee that did this, he probably actually has a chance to win a lawsuit. Big companies like this usually settle out of court, so it wouldn't even go to court. And the fact that Comcast's screening process was not good enough to catch this, he could probably sue Comcast for a decent amount of money that he wouldn't have to beg again for a long fucking time. But instead, he's not going to do that, and he'll just waste everyone else's time and make it everyone else's problem instead of his own.
Because, to be clear, I don't like drama. I didn't want to make this video. I'm supposed to be doing my standard broadcast today. As you can see, here's my setup. I'm supposed to be doing a podcast.
As you can see, here's my lame-ass setup with my Christmas dildo in the background.
Has been compromised.
And my snowman with two giant snowballs back there.
Okay? So allow me to tell you a story, because I need to tell you the background story in order for this to make sense.
Oh my god.
Who fucking cares? However, my internet likely will go down while I tell this story, and if it does, I am recording this locally and will upload this to the YouTube channel after the fact, so that you are aware of what's really going on in its full entirety without being interrupted. Okay? My tale I'm about to tell you is going to sound very creepy, and it's going to sound very weird, but it's very true, and I have evidence to back it up.
That was a good movie. I like the Garfield movies.
Over the years, as I've been a live streamer,
the new one doesn't look very
here on
good,
YouTube,
though.
As I said,
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Like me for various different reasons, and we're not here to discuss that.
I apologize.
What we're here to discuss is what I've been through, because over the years, on and off, I have had internet issues. My internet all of a sudden resetting and going down out of nowhere.
And now he's trying. Yeah, he's trying to like retcon this whole thing, because that's the proper word for it, is retconning, right? He's trying to fucking retcon this whole thing. It's like, I've been having internet issues all the way back. like fit 5-10 years ago, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, most of the time chances are that was just probably the internet sucking ass because Comcast sucks. That was probably what it was, Phil. It wasn't a detractor playing the long con for 5+ fucking years fucking with you that long. I highly doubt that, Phil.
Up in my modem. And there's been multiple times over the years where I've had
Apparently he did. I guess he did buy his own modem or router, but supposedly the Comcast guy can still reset things from the back end. He can't. The Comcast guy can no longer go into his modem or whatever because he bought his own modem or router. I don't know if he knows the difference between the two, but he said he bought one of them. So I'm assuming he bought like a new modem or something. Maybe he has his own router already, so he bought a modem. But he's claiming he bought a new one that wasn't from the Comcast. So, but he's still having it be reset from the back end by the troll, supposedly.
To involve my ISP, who is Comcast. Now, Comcast is the parent company. They have divisions. Xfinity is the division that is for residential service, but I have two business line internets in my home. Okay,
X did give it to him.
The Comcast business portion of
give
them.
him the
I don't
shaft,
any
maybe.
Xfinity whatsoever. So if I have a problem, I have to call Comcast business customer support and go through that process. All right. Now they're a little different. They have 24/7 support, but if you call after hours, you end up talking with someone who's across the globe who doesn't have the same
probably
access
a bot,
power
Phil.
to do things as if you called during business hours. So technically, even though they have 24/7 support, if you call after normal like office hours, they can't help you with anything.
And that was one of the key features on why he chose to have a business class internet, mind you. He was so like, oh no, I absolutely have to get a business class fucking internet. No, you don't.
Okay, they just, okay, well, tomorrow something will happen, right? So anyway, there's been many times in the 9.5 years now that I've had Comcast business where something's going on with my internet and we can't figure out what the deal is. Is there something in the lines?
Many times. We got to retcon this whole thing.
You know, most of the time what ends up happening is a tech comes out to the house. They look at the modem. They look at everything. They can't really figure anything out. A lot of the times we just do like a hard modem swap and it fixes the issue. Or we think it does. Okay? I have not had any consistent internet issues in a while. So, you know.
Oh, that was a jump.
They sent out a tech that Friday to my house, all right, in order to look at what was going on with my internet. So this would have been like October 28th or something like that, okay? And you guys know because I was on the stream and I said, okay, when the tech's here, I'm going to go offline or whatever. So the tech showed up, ran, you know, testing everything, trying to figure everything out. He's like, there's nothing wrong with the lines. There is nothing wrong with your modem. He says, so let's go into the modem and look at settings and things. And he goes in there, and he's like, what, you know, what is all this? Like, do you know what any of this stuff is? And I'm like, I don't know what this stuff is. All right? So what I would like to do, so to show you the first piece of kind of evidence of stuff that's going on with me, this is what he finds inside of my modem. You ready? Now, I don't know how big this is going to be. I'm probably going to have to blow it up. Okay? So the bottom is just, it shows what devices are connected locally. There's no information there that's important. But what you should look at is the information at the top. Someone had gone into my modem, all right, and actually set up content blocks, content filtering.
Yeah, blocking PayPal, blocking Twitter, and blocking YouTube. That's great. I love that.
All right, in order to
blocked
prevent
keywords, DSPGaming, Phil, and Twitter.
To go on certain websites. And they blocked
and you just now noticed
inside
it, though,
of my
Phil?
modem. All right? So they wanted to prevent me from going to YouTube. They wanted to prevent me from going to Twitter. They wanted to prevent me from being able to access my PayPal. And they wanted to block the words Twitter, Phil, and DSP.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I kind of have some doubts that it is a real troll, but when you see some of the stuff, I don't know if he would actually, like, this stuff, it's whatever. But when we get into the actual server names and stuff, again, I don't know if he would actually... His ego, I don't think, would allow him to actually, like, use those nicknames on himself. Even if it's, like, at the cost of making extra money by crying wolf or whatever like that. I don't know if he would actually, like, his ego would allow him to
no access that way at all to that content. All right? So, I mean, of course this was confusing. Here I'm thinking my internet's going down. It's not. Someone actually went into my modem and changed the settings, unbeknownst to me, without my permission, to filter content. Okay? And you might say, well, that's creepy. Yeah, it is.
And then I have another question, right? So it's like, if your settings were changing your modem, wouldn't you, as the owner of that account, get, like, an email that would pop up saying, getting an email that would pop up saying, hey, your personal details were changed, just to let you know. If this wasn't you, click here for fraud, blah, 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 blah. Wouldn't he have gotten some sort of fucking email from that? You would think? Yeah, it would have been better if he actually just blocked WWE Champions from his modem. That way he wouldn't be able to access fucking WWE Champions and probably help save him a lot of fucking money.
Because you gotta wonder who has access to the modem. Burn in hell, Burnell. And I'm gonna burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it.
You do have access to it,
Phil. I guess. Well, when you think about it, who would? Me? Or my ISP, Comcast?
And that's why would we believe you when you have a history of lying? It would be more likely that you would do something and fake something for money than it would be an actual troll, though.
There's literally no other way that you can get...
Actually, couldn't a troll, like, hack into the Comcast back-end, like, network and adjust and make changes from there? It doesn't necessarily have to be a Comcast... It doesn't necessarily have to be a Comcast employee itself. Shit, now I should change the goddamn poll again. I'm sorry. But it's like, oh yeah, that's another option that it could be.
That modem. Alright? No way. And the thing is that you could argue, well, maybe you've had that modem for so long, someone got the information. No, I've swapped modems multiple times and everything. Right? No. And so, I went ahead with that Comcast tech, and we looked at the logs, and in the logs, it says right in the logs of that modem, it is a Comcast employee that logged into the modem and made those changes. It says it right there. It doesn't say customer login or anything. It says their own rep login. They did it. Okay?
Okay, dude. All right.
So, we have the evidence. You know, plain as day. We have evidence that this is happening, that someone at Comcast, someone who is employed by that company, my ISP, has access to my modem and is going into my modem and changing settings and doing things. Okay? So this was October 28th. Okay? That this happened. And basically, the tech that was here was dumbfounded. He's like, dude, I've never seen anything.
Well, and that's what we're saying, is that he was so dumb with his passwords before. I don't know if you remember, if you were a detractor back then, but back in the day, I don't remember how long ago this was, but I think maybe before he even moved, his password for almost every fucking site at one point or another was Mr. Stupid One, was the name of his password that he used across the board for almost every site. And through some social engineering, someone was actually able to figure out the password and go in and fuck with a lot of his websites. This was back when someone had gone and pretended to be Phil Burnell to get his electricity shut off for a while. And they had called him or texted him about it, saying, hey, your internet's, or it was either his internet or his electricity. And they called him. It's like, hey, your electricity is about to be shut off. He's like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know what the hell's going on, right? And it's like, it's because he used the same fucking password for every site, right? And this was a while ago. So this was either like before he moved. No, this was after he moved. But this was recently after he moved. So like a lot of his sites were compromised. And he had to then go and change the passwords for like almost every site because he was using the same damn password. So it's possible that he just never changed the password in this whole fucking time for his modem and just forgot to change that when the password leak came out. I mean, it's possible.
Like this before. Obviously, this is crazy. He called his manager, who's the regional tech manager out here in Washington or whatever, told him the whole story. He, of course, was dumbfounded, had never heard anything like this.
Oh, sure, of course.
Here's what we're going to do. He says there's two things that can be done. He says, number one...
because I'm totally going to believe what he supposedly said when you have a history of not properly conveying what other people say. He always, what's the right word? It's like, it's not a quote, a word for word quote. It's like, oh, I'll give you the gist of what this guy said was this. When in reality, later on, we find out that's not anything like what this fucking person said. It's like, no, he had no idea. It's like, what the fuck, man? Why would someone troll you like this? Like, no, he almost never says that, guaranteed, right? But you know DSP, he loves to like put words in other people's fucking mouth all the time.
We're gonna obviously launch an investigation into this, okay? And we'll let you know. You should get a call or whatever. Or he even gave me the regional manager's number, and said you can call the regional manager as a follow-up.
Really? He gave you the personal phone number for the regional manager of Comcast? Why didn't he just give you the personal phone number, the cell phone number for the Comcast CEO on his yacht while he's at it too, right?
If you're not hearing anything concrete from us, as to say what's going on, we'll let you know. Okay? So this was October 28th. I was told this. Now
and again, I'm sorry I keep pausing every 5 seconds, but again, this was October 28th or October 8th. What? Wait, what was
the other thing that you can do? Oh, okay. So this was October 28th. I was told this.
Yeah, this was all the way back in October 28th, and he never bothered to follow up. He clearly never heard anything back from anyone about this, so he just assumed they were working on in the back end for like a month and a half, more closely a month probably at this point. But yeah, still like a whole month without wondering or doing a follow-up. Like if something this major supposedly was happening to me, I would have called back in like a week or two and be like, just to follow up and be like, hey, how's things going? No,
now
not gonna do that, huh?
If you absolutely are in a situation here where it keeps happening, you can go buy your own modem. Like you can go buy a cable modem.
Yeah, dum.
That's not ours. And if you buy a cable modem that's not Comcast, then it's your own property. They can't log in. They can't mess with the settings. They can't do anything to it because it's not our modem. So this tech leaves my house.
Because that's the problem I have. When we have Spectrum, which I think is the same as Comcast. I'm not entirely sure, right? But I've lived at this apartment for like 10 years, maybe 11. So I've been here a long time. And when I first got here, they had fucking given us their own modem and their own router. And we obviously switched and got our own router. And we thought we had handed the router back to them. But Spectrum is saying, oh no, you guys never handed us the router back. And I'm like, well, if we didn't hand the router back, where the fuck else would it be, right? Because we tore this house apart looking for this goddamn router that supposedly was theirs that we never handed back, supposedly, right? We couldn't find it. We looked everywhere, in the crawl space, where our other tech stuff is, like in the spare room. We could not find that shit. And they're claiming, oh, well, yeah, you still like owe us. And then but they're not asking for us to pay it yet. But eventually, whenever we terminate our service from Spectrum, so if we ever were to, let me back up a bit. We only have Spectrum because Spectrum is the only internet around here that will work with underground power lines, because our whole apartment complex, all of it uses underground power lines. So unfortunately, we can't get fiber optic internet because we just can't. It has to be underground power lines, and none of the fiber optic places around here offers underground power line stuff yet. So we're stuck with Spectrum. But they were saying like, okay, well, when you cancel your account or switch to a different ISP, that's when you're gonna have to pay us the money. And I'm like, okay, but I swore we fucking handed that back to you, and I don't know where the fuck it went, right? But long story short, yeah, we have our own modem and our own router now, but I don't know where the hell the old one went. Well, like, you should have got your own router and your own modem a long time ago, Phil, because theirs kind of suck. Not gonna lie, the ones they provide for you, kind of suck.
And I start to think to myself, wait a minute. What about all those times over the last few years when all of a sudden my internet...
For many years, this guy was trolling him. Yes, it must be the troll. It couldn't just be that, like, your internet sucks ass in general because it's fucking Comcast. No.
Internet would go out when I was in the middle
Talk about being fucking paranoid.
And it dawned on me.
Paranoid.
The Side Scrollers podcast. When I was on that podcast in March, all of a sudden my internet went out exactly the same way that it was going out then. It just went off for a minute or two and then came back. And that was when all that crap went down on the Side Scrollers podcast, if you remember. You remember that?
What crap?
That came back, and all of a sudden, now Keemstar's on the show, and all this drama and all this shit's going on. Right?
Oh my God, Phil. That my internet being taken down, and that allowed Keemstar to weasel his way on. I'm like, no, they were talking to Keemstar before. During the actual interview, before your internet went down, they were talking to Keemstar. So, if your internet hadn't gone down, they probably would have invited Keemstar on after the interview to give his side of the story, because he was saying that you were misrepresenting the whole issue with the lolcow podcast and everything, which you were. You were lying out your teeth about Keemstar multiple times in that interview. And they were probably either going to ask you to have him come on, or they're going to keep him on or bring him on after you left, Phil. That's what was going to happen. One way or another, even if your internet did not go down, Keemstar was going to come on that interview. Oh, plus, this idiot over here is the one saying that he thought the whole interview itself was fine, including Keemstar being on there. He thought the entire interview itself was fine, and it's only when they started, quote-unquote, making money the next day that's when they fucked up, because they said they didn't believe him, even though they told him to his face during the interview that they didn't believe him. And that was fine, but don't you dare talk about it anymore when I'm not around, apparently.
Right in the middle of my interview. And I'm thinking to myself, that's exactly what happened. This is some kind of a malicious person at Comcast who works for the company, who doesn't like me, and actually has been striking down my internet. And this troll was in talks with
Keemstar. He's like, I'm going to shut it down now. Go.
Because they thought it either was funny or it would hurt me or whatever it was. Okay? So, basically, it's now dawning on me. I'm like, I can't believe this.
I can't believe I'm this stupid.
This is absolutely true. What's going on? This must be it. What else could it be? How is it that every time that something important is going on, my internet goes out?
Oh my God!
When? 1 second, guys. Annoying fucking trolls. What happened? So I go into my modem. All right, and this is that Wednesday, and once again they've done it again. This is the same picture I'm going to show you, but just to reiterate, this is basically what they did. Is they did all this again, okay, a second time, and I'm like, whoa! So it's a month later, and they're doing it again. Now I'm trying to put it in my head. Why would they be doing it on Wednesday, on my day off before Thanksgiving? And it dawned on me. This is a Comcast employee, okay?
We don't know that. There's no actual evidence that it's a Comcast employee, by the way.
Working. So likely this employee wasn't working on Thanksgiving, wasn't working on Black Friday.
You're making this up right now, sir.
They don't work weekends.
This is all hearsay.
Works like day shift during like Monday through Friday, but of course it would have been holidays.
Was that objection hearsay?
It would have, they wouldn't have had access. And what I'm thinking is, they know I'm going to do.
You need to provide evidence, sir. Something you never do.
Marathon, so they're going to put this in place and try to screw up my internet the day before all that, before they're out of the office.
Oh, like, wow, fool me twice, shame on you. I'm thinking in my head,
that's probably what it was.
Fool me 450 times, shame on me.
So that was on Wednesday. Okay, that was on Wednesday of last week. All right. So as you know, I streamed all week, no problems. Okay, no problems at all. All weekend, everything's fine. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, Monday. So think of it. Person works at Comcast. They're only working weekdays, but they had a holiday weekend. Monday, when they
that's a nice theory there, Phil. Do you have anything to back it up?
Okay. I mean, this is like now we're getting really effing serious, because now you ready for this? What happened? Okay,
now it's super duper serious, guys.
All right. You ready for this? First of all, this happened.
There we go.
They went to my modem, my Comcast modem, and they enabled the Wi-Fi, and they decided to name it Insulting Things. Now, the problem is, this is publicly visible to everyone who's in...
Phil, shut the fuck up. No one driving by is just looking at available Wi-Fi names, okay? No one's like, oh, I'm driving in this gated fucking community, right? Oh, there's this gated fucking community. I'm just driving by, doop-a-doo. Let me see what available Wi-Fi names are available for the fuck of it. Oh, we got Amber. We got Miles 2015. We got Sensei Wi-Fi. Spectrum Mobile, Spectrum Setup 43, Spectrum Setup B8, Surveillance Van 7, and the Magic Man 69. Those are actually ones that were near me. But, like, the only person who might possibly see this is your neighbors when, like, if they need to reconnect to their Wi-Fi for whatever reason, right? So if they need to reconnect to their Wi-Fi, they will, like, scroll down finding their own Wi-Fi, and they'll see this. Those are the only people that are going to see it is your neighbors, Phil. Not like, oh, it's available for everyone online. No one online can see this, first of all. And you have to be really fucking close in that vicinity in order for it to pick up on your phone, right? So, yeah, it's not that big a deal because almost no one's going to see this except for your neighbors, Phil. And it's fucking hilarious. But this is what I'm talking about. This right here makes me suspect it's not 100% just Phil, like, faking this, right? Because Phil would never put this Panda Lee was hotter as a name for his Wi-Fi name. He would never put Greedy Piggy, right? Because remember, once you change the name of your Wi-Fi name like this, it resets every Wi-Fi thing in that household. So Kat, who's playing Skyrim for the 350th time, and her internet drops on her PS4 or whatever, right? She would have to reconnect. And once she reconnected on the Wi-Fi, she would see Panda Lee was hotter and be probably pretty pissed off, right? So she would probably go right to Phil right away and tell him about that. Because as soon as this was changed, it would disconnect from every single tech in his house that uses Wi-Fi. Their phones, their consoles, their PCs, their laptops, everything they would have to reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and they would see that the name had changed. So he must have noticed, they both must have noticed this change right when it happened, not a couple days later, right? And on top of that, I don't think he would actually admit this and change his name, his Wi-Fi names to this on purpose. Even if it is to make money, he wouldn't risk hurting his ego to do that himself.
In the area and is driving around looking at the internet, they can
see.
Who
does that? Who just drives around in the area looking at Wi-Fi?
So they did this. That was number one. That was the first thing they did.
It is pretty funny.
Now,
though,
as you guys know, my internet was also going on and off yesterday. So what they were doing is while I was broadcasting my normal stream, they were resetting my modem over and over, just pressing the reset button over and over.
Guys, please let me know if I'm talking too loudly. Because, like, I have headphones on, I'm hearing him talk, and it sounds like, I mean, these headphones are, like, muffling the sound of my voice a bit. So I feel the need to talk a little bit louder, because I can't hear myself talk that well. And I'm not hearing myself talk in my headphones. I got that switched off. So please do let me know if I'm talking a little too loud, or if, like, his audio is too loud compared to mine, or whatever, so that I have a good calibration set. Because I don't want to, like, be blowing your ears or speakers out or anything like that.
So I couldn't continuously broadcast, okay? So if you didn't notice, I started to ignore them. I was like, listen, if we can't keep, streaming a game, then maybe what we'll do is we'll play something different. We'll do it, like, I have to finish a game. I have a lingering game going on right now, and I'm like, maybe we can do the final hour of that, and even if the internet goes out, no big deal, it's only an hour.
Exactly, Phil. You have all these fucking games you should be playing, right? You can still just record yourself playing these games. Even if the internet goes down, it'll come back in a second anyway. So just record yourself playing these games, and then you can upload it and finish these goddamn playthroughs so you can actually start playing some of the newer games. But no, you can't do that either.
Or, so I guess that pissed the person off, because the person's like, wow, Phil's really not giving me any attention. So what did they do?
Yeah, that's what all trolls think, right?
All right? Now this is where it gets scary. All right, this is where you're like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So listen to this.
Oh, so scary, guys.
Since they weren't getting any attention logging into my modem and screwing with my internet, they logged into my business account itself, meaning all of the information that you have in your business account, including your name, your address, your phone number, your email addresses, your payment information, and all of that, your modem information. It's all listed in there, okay?
Oh my
They proceeded to not only go into there and mess with all of my information, which is against the law, by the way. You cannot do that.
Oh my God.
They also get this.
He has such a fucking hard-on for the law. If it was up to him, everything would be criminalized to the hardest extent, not realizing that he himself would probably be the first person in jail based on these extra strict rules and laws that were set in place by him. Like, he would be the first fucking one arrested because of it.
Took money away from me and made a payment towards my Comcast internet bill for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Phil, that's not taking money away from you. They paid your bill. Something you claim you do every fucking day when you're begging for fucking money. Now, if they actually had access to your bank account, wouldn't they have taken the whole money away from you totally and, like, given it to themselves or actually bought something for themselves? Like, if I have access to DSP's bank account, I'm gonna, like, buy myself a new, like, big screen TV or something like that. I'm not gonna pay your fucking bill, Phil. So that's not really taking money away from you if they're using your own money to pay your own bills. Does that make sense? This is also why it doesn't really seem all that real. Because it's like, if they were really a real troll, why would they pay your own fucking bill? Right? Like, okay, if you want to fucking mess with them, buy something really fucking stupid like 100 dildos and have it shipped to them or something like that, right? Like, just something absurd and, like, funny. You could do that. But why would you just, like, oh, they paid my own bill, dude? And you've already admitted that, like, you pay absurd amounts of money for your fucking internet. So it's probably just one payment for your internet that they paid for you. Are they gonna go, sorry. He's gonna go to the cops and like, dude, this is bullshit. Someone got into my account and stole hundreds of dollars from me. Okay, sir, so how much did they take? Wow, they took like $300. Okay, $300. And so they took it away from your account? Yeah, that's right. They paid my bills with it. So they took money away from your account and paid your own bills? Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, sir. Get out of here. Like, it's fucking stupid, man. Like, this is the part that seems kind of fucking fake to me. Like,
that's
maybe
false.
Someone was actually, like, trolling him and fucking with him, and he's like, I know, I'll put the icing. I'm like, and then he exaggerated, like, greatly what they were actually doing to him. So it's like, yeah, they changed his name, and they tried to ban him from YouTube because they thought it'd be funny. And then Phil's like, this is bullshit, but I gotta make this more serious so people can give me more money. So, yeah, they took all this money away from me and they paid my bills with it, dude. What the fuck?
That is identity theft and fraud. You cannot do that. That is a crime. That's not, oh, I'm messing with someone's internet. That's an actual serious crime. Okay? You cannot fuck around like that. And this person thinks at this point they can get away with anything. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. I'm going to find out who the fuck you are.
Oh, this isn't a threat though, right, guys?
Okay, because they've been doing it now for how many years? It's been a month since the October incident. Comcast has done absolutely
awesome
nothing about it.
I know your address.
So,
I know your IP address.
Okay?
I'm
now, before you say,
you.
well, what evidence do you have? Well, I'm not going to show you my payment information, and I'm certainly not going to show you anything that's private.
So he has no evidence. Got it.
We'll show you was what they did to my account. Would you like to see?
Yeah.
So they logged into my account, and they changed the name on the account. They changed it.
So this is not evidence because you could change this yourself. Got it. He won't show us the proof that money was taken out of his account at all, right? No amount of money was taken off his fucking account because he won't actually show us evidence. But he could change all of this shit himself. I don't even know. I don't think that's even his own phone number. It might be. I don't fucking know. But, like, he probably made up some fucking made-up email address and then just changed the name. Oh, it'll be funny. Panda Lee. Like, this is all seeming kind of fake to me.
The email on the account, they basically changed everything, okay? So there you go. All this information.
You have no evidence they actually took your money.
Information, okay? So not only did they do all of that, as you can see, all the information changed to be troll stuff, right? Then they also, like I said, made a false payment in hundreds and hundreds of dollars towards me, okay? So this is obviously awful, right? This is not okay, someone's messing around anymore, right?
I mean, it's not that bad. Yeah, like, okay, so suppose he's right. Suppose he's actually right and honest. Like, they took hundreds and hundreds of dollars and paid his next internet bill. That's not that bad because he already mentioned before how expensive his fucking internet bill is. Really expensive because it's 2 business class internet, so it's in the hundreds of dollars for his internet. So yeah, it kind of sucks because maybe he needed that money right then and there, or maybe the internet bill was not due yet. But like, he just preemptively paid off your internet bill for the next month. It's not that big a deal. You'll still save your money or get the money back in the long run by not having to pay that internet bill for this coming month. That's all he did. It's not like he actually took money out of your pocket and you will never see that money again. Because guess what? That's hundreds and hundreds of dollars you won't have to pay for your internet bill because he just did it, right? I'm like I said, yeah, it kind of sucks because maybe you weren't ready for that money to be taken out and used at that point for that bill. But again, it's still money that it's not really stealing money because you still get that money, right? Like, you just won't have to pay that fucking bill next month. That's all.
This isn't. This is, whoa, someone is seriously trying to hurt me. They're trying to take money out of my accounts and put it towards stuff that it's not supposed to be towards, right?
If someone was seriously trying to hurt you, you'd be like attacked on the street and beaten up or something. I'm not endorsing that. I'm not saying anyone should do that. I'm just saying if someone was seriously trying to hurt him financially or physically, like, you'd be like off the internet by this point. Like, have some of the wings trolls go after him, he would not be making content anymore. Like, if someone really wanted to hurt you, you would not be you would be in a lot worse condition than this.
And that's the problem. Like, that's horrible. Like, anyone could mess with my accounts now, right? If they have this access. So that is why yesterday when I was live on stream, I basically had to go offline. Like, if you remember, yesterday when I was live on stream, even though I said we were going to continue to stream and ignore the nonsense, I had to go offline because I had to immediately contact Comcast and say, you have to stop with all of this going on right now. You have to stop this payment. You have to stop this access, whatever it is. You have someone who could steal all my money out of my account. So immediately what I did is I called them. And the person who, I got from billing basically said, all right, I'm going to remove everything. So he removed the payment information. All that stuff's removed from my account now. So there's no way that they could keep processing payments in my name. Okay? Thankfully. So at least that's done. All right? But the problem now with that
thank you, though, for
now
buying
all my stuff's
bills.
messed up. I'm on a contract with Comcast that they call it an auto pay discount. Meaning if you have your account set up on auto pay, you put your account information into their website, you set it up, you get a discount. Now I've lost my discount.
I've lost my $5 discount for the 1 month. God damn it. What?
How's that fair? Did I do anything wrong to lose my discount?
God.
No. It's their own messed up system. Okay? So, now. So all that, goes down or whatever. All right? And I'm like, okay, so today, hopefully, number one, hopefully I'm going to get calls from Comcast. I'm going to get support. They're going to help me. I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to have multiple departments who are on this, are working on this and escalated it. Because when you call Comcast,
I escalated it. I'm like, Phil, you're not that big of a fucking client that's spending millions and millions of dollars for fucking Comcast. It's not going to be resolved in 24 hours.
Sir, your security is of our utmost concern. 100%. You have to understand, your security is our biggest concern. Okay? That's what they say. Now, this is someone who has access to my modem, someone who can mess with my business on a daily basis, and someone who has access to all of my business information and my payment information and is filing fake payments, committing fraud, which is a crime, and I have it all documented.
So if it is actually happening, they actually took money away from you, then call the fucking police and sue Comcast. If this actually is a Comcast employee, which again, I don't think so.
I've saved all the information to prove that it's happening, and I filed claims with this company. I've got 3 voicemails in with the regional tech manager. So you know they're going to be right on top of this, right? Now, in the meantime, just to show you that, again, I'm not a slouch on this, I actually even contacted Xfinity's social media team. And I said, I don't know what to do in this situation. And they said, you got to go to the fraud team. I said, I did. Just so you know. I contacted that fraud team and I filed claims or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen, all right? But that's what they told me. Like, that's all you can do is you can contact the fraud team and that's it.
And again, so this is reminiscent to the whole uh, what the fuck is it called? The fuck. I had a big machinima. That was it. This is reminiscent of the whole machinima issue. Well, he's not getting the answers he wants. They're not acting fast enough for what he wants and expects. Because he wants to be treated extra special with fucking kids' gloves on and everything like that, right? So it's like, he's not getting the answers he wants as fast as he wants. So he goes above everyone else's heads to the social media department and tries to like elevate the whole thing to like get it expedited, and it's not working obviously because it's like, yeah, you're gonna have to speak to the fraud department. Well, I just talked to the fraud department, dude. They're not working fast enough. You gotta work faster. What am I paying you fools for? That's it.
Bright-eyed. I'm ready for the day because I'm feeling positive. Things are gonna go good today, right?
Why would they fix it within 24 hours?
Getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
Getting that vibe
I check my phone.
back.
I got no emails. I got no phone calls. I got no voicemails. Nothing. Zero.
I got no fucks to give for you, Philip.
Okay? Am I surprised and shocked? No, I'm not. But you would think that a company that takes your security so seriously, and we have documented evidence that fraud just occurred with their system.
You supposedly have documented evidence, but you have not shown any documented evidence that fraud itself occurred. No. And do you know how many fucking customers Comcast and Xfinity have, Phil? It's a huge fucking company. And probably one person is dedicated to working on this issue for you. It's going to take a little bit long to investigate this, and it's going to take a little bit longer than just one fucking day. Less than a day, really.
They would probably be on it to prevent anything further from going on. I mean, we're not just talking someone's messing with you. We're talking this could be a legal issue for them. Because my security has been compromised, and it seems to be their fault. There is an internal employee doing all of this.
Fucking Comcast, then.
Well, I'm like, all right. Well, I'm not expecting much, but you know what? Maybe today I will get contacted, and you know, and maybe they will handle it. I don't know. But anyway, I can stream now. So I turned on my stream this morning, and within a minute of being live,
I can stream now. Oh wait, no, I can't.
So what this tells me is, even though Comcast doesn't have access to that modem, like they can't go in that modem and change its settings, they've got a reset button. And they could just hit it whenever they want. They could press it right now during this live stream. They already did. They did before. And they could do it right now again. That they have
the
ability to do this whenever they want. Okay?
Join the dark side of the
because
force.
It's not their property. I didn't give Comcast permission to mess with my equipment. So what gives them the right to...
They own your equipment, Phil. You're just renting it from them. Yes, now you bought a new modem. But before, when you were using Comcast equipment, that's still their equipment. They have the right to it. So technically, they can go in and fuck shit up however much they want because you're just renting that equipment from them in the first place. That's why it's recommended you own your own modem. You own your own router, Phil.
To do that, right? I didn't ever give them the right to do that. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the fraud was just his autopay going through and he forgot that his autopay was supposed to go through at that time and that day. So like, what the fuck? I'm like, why did this go through? I wasn't expecting this to be paid when it was just his autopay and he fucking forgot because he's so gin-brained. I wouldn't be surprised.
You didn't have that access, and according to the tech that was at my house in October, they shouldn't have had access, but apparently they at least have the ability to reset the modem, because that's what they've been doing. They did it.
And again, you waited a whole fucking month. He waited a whole ass fucking month, assuming this was fixed or whatever, without calling back, without following up, and then after calling again, he expected it to be fixed in one day.
Multiple times this morning when I was just turning the stream on, and I'm like, so I can't work. So I cannot do a live stream of gameplay.
Yes, that's a very well-known issue with Comcast modems. Is there's a little button in there except calling summon Keemstar, and you gotta like put tape over that button so no one hits it, so no one summons the Keemstar to come in at you and troll with you.
I cannot do a podcast.
Or you can just buy your own.
Any stream, they could
and
just
that doesn't have
like this, right?
Summon Keemstar on it.
So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. I got a few
Someone needs to just make like a fucking I don't mess with emojis and stuff like that. I don't do that stuff because I don't know how to. Like, I don't know how to fucking make a GIF or anything, but like, someone needs to like make an emoji with him just pushing a button. And like a piece of P should do it, and then he could like that's him hitting the BegCon 4, like code black BegCon 4 button where it's like beep beep, he's hitting the button, he's gonna beg.
Questions for Comcast, and I would love to get answers on this. Number one, how do you have a company, all right, where you have employees who don't monitor what they're doing? You don't have any audits of employee activity to see that there's no malicious stuff going on. What level of power?
They can't monitor. They can't monitor their employees 24/7 every single fucking day. He's probably like, if. Hold on 1 second. Like, let's assume this is an actual Comcast employee doing this, right? He's probably talking with another customer, and like, yeah, so he's fixing another customer, and then on another separate window, he has fucking DSP stuff, and he's just like hitting the delete button or whatever, the single button he's pushing apparently, because it's super easy to just hit a single button to reset his internet while he's working on other stuff. Because most people can fucking do multiple things at one time, Phil. They can multitask.
Are you giving your employees that they can log into modems, change settings, log into business accounts, see all the data, change all the data without permission? That's the other thing. There's no levels to prevent any of this. Apparently, they give their employees an insane amount of freedom. Okay? And the funny part is, like I said, this is proven, because some people are saying dumb stuff in the chat. It's a hacker. No. The tech looked at this modem when they were here in October and said, no, this right here shows this is an employee login. He says there's different. He says if it was a customer login, or, you know, if you see different levels of login, he says this is an employee login. That's what that is. It shows it right there. That's the.
Oh my god. That's great. Oh my god.
All right, so that's it for that one. Now we'll go to the actual podcast the day after.
Good morning, everyone. Oh boy. Welcome to the Level 1 podcast. Welcome to my final consecutive streaming day for this week. It is Wednesday, the 29th of November, 2023. And
it's Wednesday, my dude.
That you're having a good day, and that you are having a nice, normal time. All right? Certainly this week has been quite the opposite for me. Streams, and everything going on around here.
Look at this fake-ass fucking Christmas border that he has. It looks so garish.
Nor was I even, you know, fathoming that it would go the way that it did, that I was going to have a day like yesterday. Man. But here we are. And even today, you know, after it looked like perhaps, you know, there was a resolution in sight and everything's going fine, then things go wrong yesterday. And then on top of that, it looks like, okay, maybe another resolution is on the way. And then, basically this morning, how do I say it in a way that, well, okay, I'll tell the story.
What is that noise? Are you guys hearing that, like, kind of humming, buzzing noise in the background? It's like, kind of thing. Listen.
Okay, so, first of all, thank you all for being here. This stream is incredibly late. If you hear the landscapers outside, because they're doing their...
Oh, it was the landscapers.
Wow. Anyway, so, I normally would start my stream 10:45 a.m. It's 1:38 p.m. today.
Leaf
right?
blower
and
and whatever.
Why it feels so late? You know, it's very simple. This kind of stress takes a big toll, even if...
Yes, so we're getting into we're bringing back the depression side Phil arc here, okay? Because now, oh, he's super fucking depressed and the stress is all getting to me, dude, on, like, this is just another excuse for him not to do his actual fucking job. And to, like, he's been off more days this fucking month than he's been working, I think. Because when you combine the sickness with this internet bullshit, and then he's using the internet bullshit as an excuse because he's so stressed, like, he literally is just so done playing games altogether. And you can tell he's doing every single thing he can think of to not play a fucking game, even though that's his goddamn job. And any normal person would love to play games for a fucking living, right? Normal fucking people would. But not this motherfucker. No. That's fucking a chore to him because he's not a real fucking gamer.
My intention is to pull through it, to publicly force my way through this. It doesn't mean that mentally that's going to work. You know what I'm saying? You don't control all the factors of your life, sadly. I wish I did. I wish I had complete and utter control over every piece of my life and my body and everything. Up here, this, the physical, the mental, I don't. And
no one does. What are you talking about?
With everything going on, it really has worn me down over the last, you could say it's been going on for years, but particularly this last month, right? And then this week, particularly, obviously not being able to stream normally. And by the way,
I thought you said you were in the best condition of your life. You have a wife that loves you. You have a good, steady job. All this bullshit. Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. Nothing is bad. Everything's great. Blah, 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 blah. And now he's over here like, everything's falling apart.
No guarantee that it's over. Like, I have absolutely no real updates, information, or assurance right now from my ISP, Comcast, that anything has happened.
So call them and follow up. No, we can't do that.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday I put out a whole series of videos on this. The first video was about 50 minutes long, and it covered the entire story of how in the last year, if not longer, it could have been much longer than that. And in fact, I suspect
you don't have any proof that
there
was
a
the
malicious
case.
Employee working at Comcast who doesn't like me. That's my ISP, Comcast, and has been resetting my modem.
Imagine the audacity of someone not liking Phil. DSPGaming, the god of video games and commentary. We all take his words super serious, guys. Okay, super, super serious. And what he says is law, and every opinion he has is the best opinion out there, bar none.
My modem during streams and events, and now accessing my private information.
I think I just threw up a little bit in my mouth,
which is fraud and identity theft, and in general, just doing whatever they can to make my life miserable, even though it's completely illegal. Okay?
Oh, bring back the identity theft arc, guys. We gotta pull that fucking gem out of our pocket again. Well, like, I guarantee you, after this little arc is done, we're gonna go back to the whole chargeback arc again. Because that one always pops up. He'll have like a bigger arc, and then it'll wane for a bit, and then he'll bring back the chargeback saga again for a bit. Because that one's a smaller one that always pops up a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm getting chargebacks again. Like, there's always something going on with him, especially this year. It's fucking insane. The writers are working their asses off this year. And I feel bad for Agent Proper, who has to do a year in review 2023 of him.
So now there's concrete evidence of this and all of that. But I had to talk about it publicly yesterday. Why? Because I had gone to Comcast twice, once a month ago and once on Monday, and they weren't helping me at all. They were kind of treating it like it was no big deal. They were filing logs and tickets, but no one was touching the situation and fixing it. Okay?
Well, that's what a ticket is. Someone's fucking working on it. You gotta be fucking patient, asshole. The world does not revolve around you as much as you love to pretend that it does. Okay?
Jeez. I did this, this thing. I did this stream or whatever. And, in a situation where, I felt powerless. Right now, just so you guys know, I'm streaming. This stream could right now reset. In which case, if you're watching live, you won't see me. It'll just chop up and end, and I have to restart it manually. I am recording this locally, so this podcast will go live on the channel after the fact, even if the internet goes down. But
which is something you can do with the fucking video games, which he was supposed to do the night before this came up. Because this was for November 29th, which was yesterday. This was yesterday morning, right? And the night before yesterday morning. So wait, what day is today? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday night. I think it was Tuesday night or was it Monday night? It was one of those nights where he was supposed to play like not Ninja fucking Gaiden, Yakuza Gaiden, whatever the fuck it is, right? And he didn't do that because he just wanted to talk to his audience about this, and it was like this whole bullshit when he could have been playing a fucking video game instead. Oh yeah, it pissed me fucking off, and we're gonna get to that because I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind because I was watching someone go over it. I think maybe it was was it Shinko or it was someone I was watching, and it fucking pissed me off. No, I was watching Iviga. It was him. I was watching it with, and it. Oh man, it fucking pisses me off because he does not know what the fuck real depression is. He really doesn't. And as someone with depression, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know someone who has depression or have it yourself. It's just fucking the audacity that this motherfucking man-child who never has had a bad thought in his head about himself, and the audacity this motherfucker is using fucking depression of all things. Again. It just pisses us off. Because he is a typical class A narcissist. And narcissists never feel bad about themselves. They never want to, like, I gotta be careful. They never want to, like, self-harm or actually feel down about themselves. It doesn't matter, like, how many loved ones you're surrounded by, how many people love you. You could be, like, the most well-loved person on the world, and depression will make you fucking think that, like, everyone hates you and that, like, you're not worthy and stuff. And his narcissism would never allow him to actually do that.
To my backup wireless device that they gave me. So yeah, it's basically the chat will never go down. I'll be able to talk with you guys in chat and let you know what's going on if that happens, okay? But there's no assurance that that won't happen. To give you a quick summary where we ended yesterday, after 4 hours of me doing the stream, talking about the situation, talking about Comcast's, sad ineptitude at trying to handle it, talking about alternatives to Comcast, like other ISPs in my area. Sadly, there are no real alternatives for me to run my business because they're too slow or not dependable, and all this stuff. I ended up calling their customer support again. After fully explaining the situation, probably the millionth time, because I talked about 8, 9 people at the company at that point, the person who was there finally kind of understood, looked and said they had the evidence to show who was actually doing this, and they saw it right in black and white. Yes, what I was saying is true. They have the evidence of it. They're going right to the supervisor. This would be handled. That's what I was told at the end of yesterday's stream, okay? So, basically, after that stream, I was able to do a stream last night of Street Fighter, no problems, but the thing is, I never had a problem with late streams. This person, apparently, when they were working, was always day shift. So they would always maliciously mess with my internet during, like, the morning or afternoon. And then I guess when their shift ended, they didn't have the opportunity to do it anymore, because I never had a night stream that went down like that or anything like that, okay? But, the way I'm thinking is this guy's going to go out with a blaze of glory, right? If he's going to go out and he's going to get fired or he's going to get arrested or whatever it's going to be that's going to happen to him, he's definitely going to try to mess with me one more time before he loses that access. So I was thinking today, that's it. I'm going to turn on the stream and immediately it's going to go down or whatever, right? So all this is going on in the back of my head. Now, in the meantime, I want to give you guys an update on the situation. I've been talking to the Xfinity support social media team about this behind the scenes, and they said they couldn't help me. You got to talk to the fraud
No
department.
shit, Phil. It's like they made a fucking ticket for you. Someone's working on it behind the scenes. Someone's working at it already there, so they can't do anything more for you than, like, it's a social media team. It's like a few fucking millennials or Gen Zers who literally just sit on Twitter and tweet for the company. They don't have access to that shit. You have to contact the fraud department.
The loop of what's been going on. I told him about.
Yeah, like, actually show some of this fucking evidence, Phil. You can white out or black out or whatever the fuck you want to call you, like, account number and shit, but you can at least show something.
After I did my 4-hour stream, I sent them the link to the first video, the 50-minute video explaining the situation.
No,
about it publicly.
You really fucking think someone at fucking... Oh my god. You really think someone at fucking Comcast, or better yet, their social media team, which is just a bunch of fucking kids posting for them, are gonna sit down and watch your whole ass 50-minute fucking video about it? Oh yeah, this boomer sent us a video? Let's watch and see what he's talking about. No!
All of a sudden, their tone changed. We are so sorry we didn't take action on this sooner. We're sorry we did not get your information. Let's go ahead and do that now. They took down my contact info. They said they have a corporate representative that will be handling this and is now going to be jumping on the case and will be contacting me. And in fact,
they're handling him like they handle any Karen. They just do all these promises like, oh yeah, no. Anything we can do to get you to shut the fuck up and hang up this goddamn phone is what we're gonna do. We'll lie to you until the cows come home just so you can leave us the fuck alone. That's what they're doing. Because, like, if you work in retail, you've met Karens. You're like, yeah, we got this, we got that, it's in the back. Oh, that item, it's in aisle 10. And then you run in the other direction because fuck them. I got shit to actually work on. I don't have time to fucking handle this asshole customer.
Did actually call me this morning, but I missed the call. They didn't leave a voicemail, but they actually called my phone, and I missed it, okay?
My head. Phil, if you know this is a big deal that's going on, right? Huge fraud that's going on, and you're doing a stream, right? And you have your phone on you, and you're expecting a call from Comcast to solve this issue. You were on their ass, constantly bugging them all the time to solve your issue for you. And then when they finally are calling you back, you have the gall to ignore the phone call and not answer it because you were on stream. Your fucking 100 fucking viewers will understand if you have to get up and take a goddamn phone call. You lazy piece of shit. He really does think that he's making sacrifices because the quality of his streams is so good. God forbid they get fucking interrupted like that. It would ruin my art of the streams if I got a phone call in the middle of it. No one gives a shit. Your content sucks.
The funny part about all of this, all right?
Oh, it's so funny.
Apparently, Comcast does actually have people who handle situations like this, but they weren't taking me seriously, despite the fact that a month ago I showed them
the legal team, maybe? The one you didn't call?
They mishandled it completely. And then all day Monday, 3 hours on phones, putting in tickets and logs, they ignored that too. I had to make a video about it on my YouTube channel in order to get them to take it seriously.
That's what happened. It wasn't that you were just bothering the shit out of them. Oy.
That's not right. That's completely ridiculously unfortunate, and I hope that they're going to learn a lesson from this.
Uh-huh.
That you can't, and not everyone is a YouTuber who has the ability to stream or make a video about a bad situation going on. How is it that if someone maliciously...
How many views did you actually get on that fucking thing? Not that many. I guarantee you, the reason they're, like, acting differently now is just because you were badgering them to holy hell and back for the past couple days, and they were so fed up with your bullshit that they just gave you the answers you wanted to hear to get you to shut the fuck up. No one actually watched your dumbass video except for us trolls.
Take it of the utmost seriousness. What they say is, oh, your security is of the utmost importance to us. It obviously wasn't.
Of course they say shit like that to their customers. Why wouldn't they? They can tell you all the lies they want to keep you from going to a different company. We'll fix it. Yeah.
Today, this is getting taken care of internally by Comcast. That's what was told yesterday by their
yes, within a day, again, another day, it'll work.
Who found the evidence that this really was happening.
Don't worry about it.
But there's no guarantee that it's happening immediately. Like I said, right now, at any moment, my internet could go down. And if it does, I will chat with you guys. The chat's still going to work. And I'll continue to record and all of that, okay? And supposedly, this corporate rep will be contacting me to talk about what's happening in the future. Because let's be honest, this is completely ridiculous. My information is on the internet, but for my account and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's insane amounts of security breach and privacy breach. So I want to know what they're going to do. I'm curious what they're going to say or offer, like extra security. What are they doing for me now? Because now this has happened. I guess we're going to find out. All right? But that's where we're leaving it for now. But all of this going on, it takes a toll. It does. It makes me feel awful. It makes me feel like shit. And, last night, I went to sleep and kind of felt like, all right, well, hopefully tomorrow things will go all right. All right? And hopefully, this is, this will all blow over. So I wake up this morning.
Nope.
And this is the sad part, is that I've told you guys this before, and a lot of people don't take it seriously. They think it's a joke. It's not, okay? I suffer from depression.
Oh my fucking God, here we go.
Well, I would say I probably got it around the time I was a teenager, is when it first kicked in. And every once in a while,
people like him, idiots, mind you, think that because they're feeling sad by outside actions like this, that must be depression, right? I'm feeling really sad and really shitty because some outside action, like getting trolled, like this whole issue going on, is making me feel sad and feel worthless. So this must be depression. That's not fucking depression. And depression just doesn't come and go randomly, dude. It doesn't get better because you're with a loved one. And I think he fucking mentions that later on too. It's like, well, I haven't been feeling it that much anymore because I'm with a loved one. You could be surrounded by fucking loved ones and you'll still fucking feel depression. It does not matter your outside circumstances. You'll still fucking feel it, Phil. But if something on the outside of yourself, the outside of your brain, is making you feel bad, that is not depression. That's just feeling bad based on outside circumstances that may or may not be outside of your control. Okay? That's just general human emotions of sadness. Or being upset / sad. Or that's called dealing with the consequences because you brought all the shit upon yourself. That's not depression.
Rears its ugly head again.
You do not have depression.
It never goes away.
And that's based on shit that you talk... Based on how you talk about and explain depression, proves to us you don't have depression. Fucking get Steve in here. I would love him to go over this and make a whole ass video about this.
It's always there in the back of your head.
Is
All
it, Phil?
what happened
Is
was,
it?
I woke up this morning and
You're
I felt
the fact that you're a narcissist alone prevents you from having depression, because narcissists love themselves so fucking much they'll warp their entire reality around the fact that they love themselves so much, that they think so highly of themselves. So I don't think it's possible for a narcissist to also have depression unless they're like either bipolar or like schizophrenic or something like that. Which I don't think he is, but you never know.
like death. Like, I didn't want to move.
Maybe it is possible. Maybe he does actually not have depression, but have bipolar. So, like, he'll be, like, really manic one moment, and then the next moment he'll be kind of in a depressive state, but that's just not really depression, but more bipolarness. So maybe that's a question we should ask Steve about.
I didn't want to do nothing at all. I just wanted to lay in bed and be left alone. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to even use the bathroom.
Actually, let me ask that before I forget it. Let me go to the Detractor game. I think Steve's in there. There we go. All right, let's continue.
I just wanted to sit there, miserable. Okay, so I did for a while.
You're wallowing in your own self-pity. That's not really depression, though.
Let me tell you this, guys.
You're dealing with the consequences of your own fucking actions.
Now, and me, 10 years ago, hell, even 5 years ago. Well, if we do the math, it would be 6 years ago.
This bullshit.
Me as an older YouTuber or an old-time YouTuber from back in the day when I was younger versus now. Thank God I met Kat, because she is
this right here proves that he doesn't actually have depression.
In my life, she's one of the major reasons every single day why I get up, because I want to see her, I want to be with her, and
that's not depression.
After me, like being in bed for hours, like alone, not wanting to move, not wanting to do nothing. And by the way, if you wonder what it's like when you're in depression, basically there's no logical reason that you don't feel good. Okay, it's not like, oh, this and that. Now, in my case, there's a lot of things going on that triggers this, right? Obviously, we know what's going on. Publicly, you guys know all about what's going on with my business in this online.
Again, if something triggers you on the outside, not depression. Maybe I should make a fucking list. Maybe I'll go on Twitter later on and make like a list. If something triggers you on the outside, not depression.
Harassment and all of that, but also, there's other stuff going on too behind the scenes, private stuff that you guys don't know about that I've told you over this year. There's been some serious things that have happened to us that, we're dealing with.
If something super serious, like trolling-wise, happened to them behind the scenes, us detractors would know about it by now, because someone would have stepped forward on Kiwi Farms to have taken credit and shown us what he was doing behind the scenes. So therefore, and you guarantee you, Phil would have talked about it by this point, if there was actually something else going on besides what he talks about. So there's nothing else going on behind the scenes. He just uses that as a blanket
statement. It adds up. You know what I'm saying? And if this were me, I'm not exaggerating. I woke up, I didn't want to talk to anyone, I didn't want to interact with anyone. I had to post up an update so you guys knew that I wasn't coming to stream, right? But basically...
Sounds like an excuse to, again, be late and not have to do any actual work. And I say work lightly, but in terms of his actual supposed occupation, him actually playing video games, not this bullshit podcast, not complaining and doing Q&A segments, but actually playing games is his job. And he's doing almost everything he fucking can to get away with not doing his actual job.
That was it. That was all I did. I didn't even move after that. And if I did not have Kat in my life, okay,
you're wallowing in your own
in bed right now.
Consequences.
I'd still be a miserable lump, and I would feel ultimately depressed. I'd probably be like crying and fucking feeling like shit, and just hating everything, hating life, hating myself, hating everything. Because that's what depression really is that it's
it's not. No, it is fucking not, Phil. Yeah, if, like, you would feel that way regardless if you have Kat or not. That's what depression actually is. No matter how many loved ones you are surrounded yourself with. You could be surrounded by everyone who loves you in the whole world, and you still feel like shit and want to Minecraft yourself and other shit. You know, like, I don't want to. And, like, feel like nothing matters and no one loves you, even if you're surrounded by people who fucking love you. That's what depression actually is, motherfucker. You don't understand what it actually is. And to sit here and fucking claim that you're mentally depressed just because you're, for once in your life, having to deal with consequences that you wrought on yourself, that doesn't make it depression, you fat fuck.
It's a self... what do they call it? Not replicating. It's a self-feeding cycle. That's
self-perpetuating cycle.
Right? You feel miserable, so then you do things as a result of feeling miserable. Because you do those things, they make your situation worse, and now that makes you feel miserable again. So then you do the things that make the situation worse, that make you feel miserable again. It's an endless cycle.
Yeah, but that's not what you're doing, so you don't have depression. Like, even if you're surrounded by loved ones, right? And you're surrounded by everyone who fucking loves you, and yet, because of actual depression, you will still lash out on someone because you're feeling like shit, even though you totally love them, like, with all your heart and everything like that, right? So, like, even if it's, like, the people you love the most, that's not going to prevent you from having depression. Even, like, you could be surrounded by people who fucking love you, you're still going to have depression. You're still going to feel like shit no matter what. You could even lash out on the people who love you the most, that you love the most, because you're feeling fucking depressed. Because it is kind of self-replicating cycle like that, right? And if he actually, like, did have depression, like I know he's claiming he has depression, but we all know he doesn't actually fucking have depression. Or at least not in the fucking way he's misunderstanding what depression actually is compared to, like, dealing with the consequences of his own actions, something he's never had to face in the past. Because if he's 41 years old, and he's acting like a fucking man-child who, for the first time in their lives, actually had to deal with the consequences of their own actions, right? We can all agree with that. But even if he actually did have to... Let's say, for the hell of it, he actually has depression, right? Real depression. Why are you not going to see a fucking psychiatrist or a therapist? He's always so fucking quick to throw mental illness as a fucking insult to all of us detractors. You gotta be fucking sick in the head. The redcoats are coming. All this fucking bullshit he throws at us on a day-to-day fucking basis, like it's the biggest fucking insult. And then he flips the table and pretends that he's fucking depressed. Like, well, if you really are fucking depressed, go see a goddamn therapist. Go see a psychiatrist and get on some antidepressant medications like I'm on, then, you piece of fucking shit. Stop fucking playing and pretending that you have depression when actual people out here, probably your fans too, actually have real fucking depression. And fucking, you're just using it as a blanket excuse so, like, people feel fucking sad for you and maybe stop harassing you because, oh, we gotta stop talking about him because he's depressed, guys. No, you don't fucking actually have depression.
Cycle like this, okay? So it never improves until you get...
Hey, asshole! Depression never improves. There's no cure for fucking depression. No matter if you're living with the person you love or not, there's no actual fucking cure for it. I gotta take antidepressant medications until the day I die because there's no fucking cure for it, dumbass.
Until, you get something to pull you out of it. And
it's called a mental illness. The brain doesn't work properly, and we're not getting the proper brain chemicals that make us experience joy and happiness, so we gotta rely on store-bought chemicals instead. That's what it is. There's no fucking cure for it, you retard.
Thank God that I have Kat, because she was like, are you alright? What's, it's ridiculous what's going on?
That's not depression!
And she got me, she got me to get up, she got me to move around, shower, and I had coffee, had a bagel. All right, you know what?
All
right, I'm gonna get moving.
Like, if he was depressed, yeah, that could be her helping him with depression, but that's not curing fucking depression. That's not how that works. Sorry, my throat. All right, so real talk, you know, like I'm sure people watching this like know someone who is depressed or have depression themselves, right? I have depression, and I've said this before, but like I live with my boyfriend and I love him a lot, a lot, a lot. Like I think we're a great couple. I think we get together really well. I love him. I have huge feelings of emotion and romance, whatever you want to call it, for him. This doesn't cure my depression, though. Nothing is going to cure my fucking depression. He helps with it. Yeah, it definitely helps. I would feel a lot worse, and my depression would be a lot more unmanageable if I was living by myself as opposed to living with him. So it definitely does help. But that doesn't make the depressive thoughts go away. It just makes it more manageable. And having him reminding me, hey, I got to take my pills today. Reminding me that, like, yeah. Oh, wait, what happened? The internet dropped? Am I still live? I think I'm still good. Yeah, reminding me that, like, I got to take my fucking pills. I got to brush my teeth so I can't forget that. Because if I fall in a depressive slump, I don't want to do anything. I actually don't. I'll sit in bed. Or I'll like get up and stay on my computer all day and not actually eat properly or take care of myself and all that shit. That's what real depression is. And it doesn't go away because you're with someone you love. Now, is it possible he might have depression and just is not properly conveying it properly? I kind of doubt it. I would say the chances are probably 10 to 15% out of 100 that he might actually have real depression and he's doing a shit job explaining it. Like, maybe he is depressed. Like, maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt and fucking say, yeah, he's depressed. And what he meant to say was that Cat being there helps his depression, but it doesn't actually cure it. And all these outside things are making his depression worse. And he's just doing a really shitty job explaining it. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I really think he's this stupid and just doesn't understand what actual fucking depression is. Plus, I don't know if narcissists can also feel depression at the same fucking time. So, no, he doesn't have actual depression. He doesn't know what it's actually like to have fucking depression.
You know, we gotta go. And the thing is, right now, it's in my head right now. I'm not even kidding. Like, right now, I feel like shit. Like, actually, in the back of my head, I got these awful thoughts about you're a piece of shit and, you know, you don't deserve nothing. And this, you know, that's what it is. You get that awful negative.
That's called your conscious, Phil. Maybe you should listen to it because it's trying to tell you the truth.
Overbearing feeling of doom and gloom for no logical reason. Like, I know this thing that happened with Comcast obviously is completely wrong. It never should have happened. It's a crime. Even if someone doesn't like me, there's a difference between trolling someone or making fun of them on the internet or actually committing crimes against them, which is what's happened to me, right? So I know that in my head, but that's not what depression does. It doesn't care. It doesn't give a shit about logic. What it is, it's emotion. It's deep, unflinchable emotion. Okay?
It's called mental illness, Phil. You know that thing you use all the fucking time as an insult? That's what it fucking is. So you're just as, like, if it's true, which I don't think it is, it's just as fucking true that that he's as mentally ill as the detractors he claims are. Okay? Like, he loves to throw mental illness as a fucking excuse, as a fucking insult. When you're mentally ill yourself, your brain is not receiving the serotonin and happy receivers in your head. So you need to take medication to balance that shit out. Otherwise, you're just going to wallow in your own self-filth forever. If you actually had it. No, I don't think he pretended to be an alcoholic. I think he really is a fucking alcoholic.
And it sucks when it hits. So
like, you watch some of his old, like, house tours, you will see how much fucking alcohol he fucking has in that
Here
house.
I am. I'm supposed to be getting up today.
But yeah, he used it as an excuse. He's like, I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm alcohol. And he was so fucking pathetic that they didn't even bother beating him.
I was going to play Super Mario RPG.
When honestly, Jaha probably should have.
Anyway, I was going to record it locally, so
he would have learned some humility.
Anyway, and I can't even get out of fucking bed now because of all this shit, right?
Sure, Phil. It means you don't want to work.
It's shitty. It sucks. Okay?
Because you're mentally ill.
Yeah.
Because if you can say you have depression, then you can no longer use the mentally ill. I'll make a bet with you, Phil. I'll give it to you that you can have. Here's my bet. Please clip this. Please send this to DSP or one of his dumbass fans so they can send it to him. Phil, I'll give you this one. I'll concede that you have depression if you promise to, from this point forward, never use mentally ill as an insult against detractors and trolls and haters and critics, okay? If you stop using mental ill and white coats and all this other insults that accompany mental illness as an insult to anyone else, then I'll concede that you actually have depression. How about that? Will you meet me halfway with that? Because if not, I don't fucking believe you have depression, and I never will. But I'll fucking, I'll let you use that if you agree to not fucking use that as an insult.
This morning. But eventually, thanks to my wife, here I am, all right? So it's very late. It's 1:52 p.m., all right? And I'm going to do a show. We're going to do a podcast here today, and we're going to hang out, and we're going to interact, and we're going to have a good chill time.
When in reality, we saw what happens when Phil doesn't have a maid to help him. It's not depression, it's laziness. Phil needs a household maid to help cook, clean, do laundry, do all the things a mommy would do for their little boy. That's what he needs. It's not because of depression, it's because he doesn't know how to do the shit. He doesn't know how to do laundry. He doesn't. He's admitted he doesn't know how to do that. Okay? He knows how to cook a little bit, but he doesn't like doing it, so he would just order out all the time, which is what they're basically doing now anyway, because she can't cook all that good. Right? So it's like, he's a fucking wreck, not emotionally, just in terms of laziness, when there's not a woman in that house to help his ass out by doing all the household work. Because you think, I'll see you later, Newt, thanks for stopping by. You think he's a mess now? You should have seen him when Leanna left. And granted, he was talking to Kat behind the scenes and still pretending that he was single. But the fact that there wasn't a woman in his life, physically in his house, to help take care of the place, he was falling apart. Not emotionally again, just because he didn't know. Apparently, he can't shower himself either, because he wasn't showering properly, wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't doing laundry at all. And again, these things could be attributed to depression, but from what we know of him, he doesn't know what depression is, really. I mean, he's not doing a good job conveying what depression actually is.
All right, we are. And I'm happy about
So which is it, Phil?
That's what I need. I need normalcy. I need things going well and just being smooth and no bullshit.
That's autism, Phil. That's what that is.
I can chat with you guys. The chat will continue to work. If you see the stream go down.
Obsessively committing to your own schedule. How hung up he is about his own fucking schedule and everything has to be a schedule, and how he's turned basically him being his own boss into a 9-to-5 fucking job. That's autism, Phil.
I can still talk with you in the chat, okay?
The way he moves a lot is
so
a lot of sensory issues type of thing.
Hopefully, this is
we all know you're mentally retarded, if you want to call it that, right? He's stunted developmentally in some aspect. So he's mentally stunted, probably has autism and or ADHD.
Take care of it, right? Maybe they did. Maybe that's why right now the internet's not going down. I don't know. I'll be honest, that was another factor in my head, is I don't even want to go on stream because I don't want to give this guy any more attention. I don't want to give him the satisfaction.
So stop talking about it.
Set my modem or do something, and then he feels like he got instant gratification because he had an action on this planet that had a consequence or something. You know what I mean? A lot of people on this planet they're insignificant or they feel insignificant. So what they do is they create situations where they get an outcome.
Oh, this part really fucking pissed me off too. God damn it. My throat's already hurting. Hold on. Let me slow this down a bit. Because unfortunately we have to hear the pig squeal some more.
Or do something, and then he feels like he got instant gratification because he had an action.
God, that feels like it's slow motion. Going from 101.5 to 1 normal. That's such slow motion.
On this planet that had a consequence or something. You know what I mean? A lot of people on this planet they're insignificant or they feel insignificant. So what they do is you know what I mean? A lot of people on this planet they're insignificant, or they feel insignificant, or something. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people on this planet are they're insignificant, or they feel insignificant. So something. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people on this planet are they're insignificant, or they feel insignificant. So what they do is they create situations.
Really? Really, motherfucker? Oh yeah, a lot of people are meaningless nobodies who are fucking totally insignificant and aren't worth your fucking time. What kind of fucking asshole is this guy? That's what I want to know. Like, the audacity that, like, this loser who contributes nothing to fucking society whatsoever, this fucking Walmart NPC who is, like, the most typical consumer. Like, you talk about NPCs who have nothing going on in their brain and, like, nothing to contribute to society, you think of Phil. All he is like a capitalistic NPC who just consumes and buys, and that's it. He has no real thoughts in his head. That's all he fucking is. And he's having the audacity to say that other people are insignificant. The fucking audacity of this motherfucker. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm pausing a bit because my brain hurts. Phil, no, not a single fucking person or animal on this planet is insignificant. I hate to tell you this, and I'm getting a little spiritual a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching. I'm not Catholic. I'm not any major religion. But we're all here for different reasons, okay? We really are. Even the smallest little bug or the smallest little animal is all part of a greater whole, a greater being, the greater ecosystem itself, right? The ecosystem, the economy, all this shit, we're all part of it. The whole earth, like, we're all part of, like, a bigger system that all works together. Not a single person, no matter how fucking dumb and retarded, including you, Phil, you're included in this, unfortunately, is actually insignificant. We all have our own parts to play, no matter what that part is. Your part is being a court jester that people fucking laugh at and realize their own lives aren't as shitty as it could be. Okay, that's your job. That's your significance. Is to be laughed at. Is to make people introspective and think, oh, thank God my life isn't that shitty. Thank God I'm not that stupid. That's what your part is in this film. So no one is actually insignificant. Even the worst of the worst people are there to show us the horrible nature of the world itself and to remind us of our place in it. Okay? So I really don't think anything could be totally, absolutely insignificant. Even the fucking trees are out there giving us oxygen, are contributing more to our welfare than your ass. Okay? I'd rather befriend a fucking tree than befriend you right now, Phil. So go fuck off about that. No one's actually insignificant. Even the trolls and haters and critics that you love to pretend don't have a purpose, we all have a purpose too. To show everyone else the bullshit and the lies that you fucking speak. To have a good fucking laugh at an utter fucking moron who doesn't deserve anything. God damn.
Where they get an outcome based on their actions, and as long as they get that outcome, they feel like they have value. Wow, I did something today and it actually affected someone. Sadly, the problem
is, Wesley, how you doing?
Wow, I hurt someone today. I did something, I got away with it, and someone really got screwed over. Haha.
Oh, the 2021 bank leaks? You mean the thing that was identity theft, but wasn't identity theft because it was, and then it wasn't his account, even though it totally fucking was his account, and there's no doubt whatsoever that it was fucking his account? Those bank leaks? Yeah. I'll have to watch that.
Because that's awful to think about that when you think about it, but that's how some people are. It's a result of, sadly, having people on this planet with no real meaning in their life, right? If you have meaning, if you have positivity in your life, if you have meaningful things you
definitely
do every day,
you,
right? You have activities
100%
in your
you.
life to do. You have friends, you have family, you have a job that maybe you feel is worthwhile.
All things you do not have. You do not have a family. You do not have a job. You do not have meaning in your life. Oh, wait, that's me going back. You have meaning in your life, but not the way you think about it. You're not influencing other people based on your video. You make shitty-ass videos, and you show to other people how worse it could be. You are a perfect example of what not to do in content creation. You are, what's the right word? It's like, there was like a word for it, but it's like, a dangerous, not a dangerous story. What the fuck am I thinking of? It's like, whatever. It's like, you are the perfect example of what not to do online as a content creator. You, Boogie, Wings, all these lolcows are shining examples of what not to do in terms of creating your own fucking content. Don't do what this guy did. He's a shining example of what not to do. If you do the opposite of everything this fucking guy does, then you'll probably be a lot better position than him. Sorry.
While and fulfilling, whatever it may be. If you
don't have a fulfilling life,
that's what you focus on. You don't focus on taking the positivity away from others who have it. But that's how a lot of people are on.
You're seeing the narcissism at play right here, right? He loves to pretend that he has like shining amounts of positivity just coming out of his fucking ass, for lack of a better word. He's just brimming and overflowing with positivity, and we're just taking it away from him. That's not what's going on here at all, Phil. You have zero positivity. You're constantly abusing your fans, talking shit about your wife, all this shit. You're a negativity cesspool is what you are. And we're laughing at you. We're not taking positivity away from a positive person. That's not what it is.
And that's sad. It's really messed up. And I feel like it's a major problem that's going to get worse and worse. And now with the internet being such a factor and so much power of anonymity and people being able to do things to each other remotely, it's just going to get worse and worse. Okay? So just think about that, right? This person, that was in the back of my head. I'm like, if I go on stream, right, and this guy resets my internet, now he feels validated again, even though, you know, Comcast is aware and he's likely on his way out the door.
Like, if this motherfucker actually ignored the trolls, something he never fucking does, right? He's always said, oh, just ignore the trolls, but he never actually ignores the trolls, ever. But if he actually ignored it, they would move on and get bored. But they don't.
It's today, tomorrow, you know, next week, whatever it is, you would think, you know, they would do it right away, but that doesn't mean nothing. You know how corporations work. They're like a slug. They're like a molasses rolling down a slow hill, right? It's like, that's how they get stuff done. So, really, like, I just was thinking this in the back of my head. It was another reason why I was like, I don't want to go on stream today. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go on stream today, right? So, anyway.
So just call in again like you fucking did with being sick for a whole month and a half. I mean, you are technically the boss of your own fucking job. So, I mean, you don't have to answer to anyone. When I am not feeling good and I call in, I have to go and call my manager and either tell them I'm not feeling well or tell them some story if I don't feel like going in for that day. And then I don't come in, you know, but it's like, he doesn't even have to do that. He could just like put up a little community post like, sorry guys, and come up with some bullshit and not show up, and it's fine.
Here I am, just very, very late. And I apologize for that. Obviously, that was not my intention.
If he ever did say anything good about someone, he usually takes it back after the fact anyway. So, yeah.
I wanted to be here on time. I wanted to hang out with all of you. I wanted to put meaningful content out.
Or he'll like, no, he'll talk good about someone while shitting on them at the same time. That's what he fucking does. Where he'll be like, oh, no, Turkey Tom's a real good he did it with Tevin too. But he's like, Turkey Tom's a really good professional. He's like really clearly spoken, blah, 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 which is backhanded. And then it's like, but you gotta be watch out while shitting on him at the same time. That's what he fucking does.
And be positive, and it's hard. It's absolutely positively hard to do that with all the shit going on in my life. And this is just one of the many things, but it's just the thing you know about today, right? And it's like, here we go, the next thing. And You know, it's funny because some people even say to me, how do you get through this? Like, this is crazy stuff that happens to you, so how do you manage to get through it? I hate to say it, but when you get to a point when so much has happened, okay, you basically get to a point where you're desensitized.
Oh, we got siege mode.
So think about it this way. The first time you ever saw a really gory horror movie, right, where someone gets, like brutally attacked and, you know, and hurt. The first time you see it, you're like, oh, God, that's awful. You're like, oh, my God, it can actually affect you really badly. And then the third...
It's a movie, though. It's not real. You do know there's a difference between seeing that shit in a movie and seeing that in real life? There's, like, a fucking difference. You do realize that, right?
Time it happens, you're like, all right. And then when you've seen Friday the 13th...
Like, I haven't actually seen, like, any real, like, accidents or, like, oh my God, gore and stuff in real life like that. I haven't, thankfully. But, like, seeing that in real life is a lot different than seeing that in a fucking movie. I've watched a shitload of, like, actual horror movies, and, like, I love horror and stuff, right? So I've seen a bunch of, like, blood and gore in movies and stuff. But if, like, someone was actually stabbed to, like, death, or even just stabbed and bleeding out, and there's blood everywhere in front of me in real life, that's gonna be totally fucking different in real life than it is me watching a fucking movie. There's a difference there.
You know, he's ripping people's limbs off and shoving it up their nostrils. You're kind of desensitized to it. You don't feel anything much anymore.
No, he was a negative idiot when, even before people started trolling him. He's always been a negative asshole. You go into the FGC days and you go watch some of those Densey scrolls that they do, that WPIG and Steve and those people do, ALT. You watch some of that, you can see he's always been a negative piece of shit, even back then. And that was before people were really trolling him. So it wasn't not that. He's always been this way.
I wish that this were
a narcissist.
Joke I'm about to tell you right now. It is not. This is not.
He loves to project his insecurities on everyone else. So he's projecting when he's calling like his detractors mentally ill. He's projecting that because he knows he's fucked up. Like deep down, I think he knows he's fucked up in the head.
First time that someone has done something like this to me. This is not the second time that someone has done something like this to me. This is the third time.
Oh my God.
That someone has done something like this to me. That they maliciously got control of something they should not have control of.
If something keeps happening over and over again, you think maybe it has something to do with you a little bit?
Took money away from me, or they did something that was not authorized, or...
They didn't steal money from you, dumbass. Not this time. Sorry. You don't even have any evidence that it happened.
This is the third time. So, yeah, if this were the first time, I'd probably be absolutely freaking out. But number 3, you kind of don't feel that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the deal, you know? And
oh, wow, poor Phil is such a victim. Oh my God, what is he gonna do? Won't you trolls please leave Phil alone? He's done nothing wrong. He's such a sweetheart. He's always saying hi to me in the chat.
it sucks that this is just a fact of life for me now, you know?
Oh, who cares if he's harboring a pedophile in his chat or anything, or talking shit about people? They deserve it.
I understand that I am flawed. I understand that I am
greatly flawed, massively flawed, and you never do anything to improve yourself. People would stop giving you so much shit if you were actually trying to improve yourself. You do know that, right, Phil?
Make mistakes, right? I fly off the cuff. I have rage.
You never apologize for any of the mistakes you make, either.
I have anger issues sometimes. Sometimes I'm disrespectful to a fan or a viewer.
Sometimes! All the fucking time. Every chat, you are disrespecting someone. More than someone, usually. It's usually 2 or 3 different people you're disrespecting in every fucking pre-stream podcast. You're shitting on some game developer. You're shitting on some game journalist or some shit. You don't give me that shit.
Sometimes I'm just outright disrespectful to a troll, which I think they deserve, but obviously I should be better than that, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, they totally deserve it, but he doesn't deserve it, right? No, he doesn't fucking deserve it. Oh, do I deserve it, Phil? Because if I deserve it, you 100% fucking deserve it.
A lot of people say
we're just sitting here calling you out on the bullshit that you're talking about. And, like, a very small minority of trolls are actually, like, touching the poo. And you know why they're touching the poo, Phil? It's because you bring it on yourself. You really do. Because you keep dodging karma so fucking much. When karma is just, like, trying its hardest to come up at you, and you have, like, the perfect way to outmaneuver it. Like, you were supposed, like, yeah, You got your, like, it's insane. He keeps dodging. Like, he is, like, I don't know if he actually does have luck or what, or maybe, like, he has some karma left to where it's like he doesn't have a good life, but he has just enough karma that it's like preventing him from being totally fucked over. And he's so headstrong, ignorant, and defiant that he refuses to have any humility enough to actually get a real job.
I act ungrateful sometimes, or I ask for too much from my audience.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's okay because I admitted that I'm a shithead. So, but that doesn't excuse the trolls doing all this horrible shit to me because I'm a shithead because I admitted it.
Perfect,
right?
But I do feel that I have improved. I've done
exactly
the internal searching work since I met Kat. I feel like I've become.
Bullshit. You have never did any sort of fucking soul searching in your fucking life. So don't give me that bullshit, Phil. Who are you bullshitting here? Are you is this your therapy session? Are you pretending we're your fucking therapist? Sorry, I keep tracing my mouse over this because I'm. Yeah, let me get the mouse out of the way. Like, who are you fucking trying to fool with this shit? You have never done any fucking soul searching in your life, Phil.
Person, right?
You don't have the self-awareness to do that.
Because
you clearly don't.
Who have issue with me have issue with.
Because you would see yourself being a massive fucking hypocrite all this time.
Phil, or you know what I mean? These weird oddball things that become these obsessions for them, and that's why they don't like me. But it has nothing to do with me or my content or anything I put out on the internet. It's just these weird obsessive circles.
No, it does every fucking day. I am not angry at you from something you said or did 15 years ago. I'm angry at you for this podcast you did yesterday, Phil. I'm not obsessed with you and super, like, pissed off at you for shit you did 5 or 10 years ago. You constantly are making new mistakes. You're constantly shitting on your fans every fucking day, Phil. It's not just, oh, something you said or did 5 or 10 years ago. No, it's shit you're constantly doing to this day.
Of hate and
God damn.
Because that's the thing. There's a difference between, okay, it's like hatred against someone because they did something really vile, right? But I'm not a
which you continue to do on a daily basis.
Guy. I'm not a religious guy. Like, I don't even.
Yes. Oh my God. You've brought up religion and politics both recently. Yeah, you don't make content on politics and religion, but you still use them in your react bullshit all the time. Well, I'm a Roman Catholic, so I can't donate to charity ever, guys. Oh, well, like, maybe like make a Trump joke here or a Biden joke there. You've done this before. So yeah, just because you don't make content supposedly on politics and religion doesn't mean you bring that up. No one is hating you because you're a Roman Catholic. They're hating you because your views are wrong, first of all, and you're a piece of shit all the time. You don't ever change. You don't ever apologize.
Talk about the things that you would think would be incredibly polarizing. You know what I mean? I just don't.
You do enough of that on your own without even talking about the polarizing issues, Phil.
I don't understand, like, because will it ever get better? I want it to get better. I want it to.
Do you know how it's gonna get better, Phil? If you actually do some introspection and actually try to actually get better and stop insulting people. That's number one. If you stop insulting people, if you have a member of your own group chat say something that you don't like and you don't fly off the handle and ban them and insult them instantly and just say, okay, well, that's your opinion and move on, that's how you can start getting better, Phil. But you're never going to do that. Actually start improving in your life, not tech-wise, well, I mean, your camera sucks, but that's not what we mean by improving. Like, you need to get better with your attitude and your negativity.
The nonsense to really stop at this point.
It's on you. Trolls will stop if you improve yourself mentally.
It's to the point where it's getting dangerous, you know, this stuff.
Oh my god, you've seen
have to
nothing yet. You're trying to like go out and like on threaten Turkey Tom and the commentary community? Like, you think that's a good idea? Or you threatening Turkey Tom and fucking people like... I don't really know much about the commentary community, but people like, well, before he retired, Medicare, and then like Flamenco, which is a whole nother issue, and people like that who touch the poo on a daily fucking basis, and you're threatening those people? And then on top of that, you would be like running for the hills if you were facing the people Wings has to put up with.
Right? You have to hope that it will get better, all right? But I don't know if it will, because I'm not controlling it anymore. These actions that are happening to me are not a direct result of me doing something heinous, right? It wasn't like last week
if he was like such a great guy now and all this content now was so fucking great, like, wouldn't every single detractor be watching his old shit only and just like talking about shit that he said like 10 years ago on Blip TV and shit instead of the stuff he's currently doing? Like, yeah, you have some detractors who'll go back in time for laughs and shits and giggles and stuff, but we're still talking about shit you're doing on a day-to-day basis currently, Phil, because you're still not a good person.
On stream and I had a racist tirade against people, and people, wow, that guy's a disgusting racist, let's get him. That
you do, though. You do that. It's not so overt. It's subtle, but you still have implications that things are that you're a racist.
Didn't happen. Nothing like that ever happens. It's the opposite.
Bullshit.
It literally is the polar opposite of that. My streams are tame, right? People
no,
say
they're really not.
Phil's actually not that interesting of a guy. Much more interesting to talk about, you know, Wings or Boogie or someone else. He's just not that interesting to talk about. When you say,
I thought Wings and Boogies were supposed to be your fucking friends, and you're trying to like convince your detractors to go sick them. You're trying to sick your own detractors on Wings and Boogie instead of yourselves. How fucking low do you have to be that you're trying to sick your detractors on other people that supposedly were your friends? Like, that's fucking despicable right there in and of itself. But he's over here trying to fucking... Oh yeah, why are people being mean to me? Wings and Boogie do way worse shit than I do. Go over there and attack them. What a piece of shit. And he wonders why people fucking fuck with him.
Say that? I take that as a compliment. Because I don't want to be a drama guy that's all anyone talks about. I would rather sit here and relax with my audience and have tame days, enjoy games, laugh at fails, laugh at rage, have a good time.
Then stop insulting game devs. Stop insulting your fans. Stop insulting people in general who never talked about you once. You'll go on a whole ass rampage about fucking Keemstar or fucking PewDiePie or Tobuscus or some other big name YouTuber, all because you're a fucking jealous little bitch because they have more money than you do. Phil, stop doing shit like that then.
Time. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be virally popular. I don't need to be Mr. Drama to be in the news that every YouTuber is talking about and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't care about that shit. So it really disturbs me that I have nothing to do with any of that.
Oh, Phil's the king of semantics. He really is. He's like, no, what actually happened was this, when it's the same thing they were saying was happening, but slightly, oh my god, what actually happened was this? Howard, I was your friend Howard, even though he hung out with Howard and Rambo both at the same fucking time for the same amount of time. So yeah, he was at the very least an acquaintance. At best, he was still a close friend.
And at some point, you know, people ask me legit questions like, Phil, you're now in your 40s. You ever think about having kids?
Like, just because he wasn't as close a friend to you as John was, doesn't negate all the shit that he was saying about you, Phil. Because he still knew who you were.
Kids? Are you insane? Look at what happened just to me.
No one wants this motherfucker to procreate. However, detractors love Jasper. Look, like, Shinko loves Jasper. I love Jasper. I'm not, like, yeah. Like, I don't hate Jasper. I don't want anything bad to happen to Jasper. Right? Jasper's innocent. Jasper is the only innocent creature in that fucking house. Because Kat knew what she was getting into. She really did. Okay? And that's assuming Kat's still in the house now. But assuming Kat's still in the house, she's not innocent. Jasper, on the other hand, is innocent. If Phil, God forbid, ever had a kid, that kid would be innocent. And no one would go after his actual fucking kids. Because that's a fucking shitty thing to do. Look at Rich from Review Tech USA. He has kids. No one is ever going after his kids. Because people have an issue with the person himself. Be it Rich from Review Tech USA, DSP if he ever had a kid, God forbid. Like, people have an issue with you, not your kids. Your kids are innocent. They didn't ask to be born to you. Why would any detractor ever go after your fucking kid like that? That's fucking horrible. And other detractors would call that detractor out if, God forbid, that were to ever happen. No one would go after your fucking kid. And let's be honest, your erectile dysfunction would prevent you from ever having a kid long before a detractor would prevent you from having a kid, Phil. We all know you can't get it up in your bed. Leanna bitched and complained about that for a long fucking time. So let's not fucking blame it all on us detractors when really you can't have kids, basically.
My family, my direct family, being harassed constantly, stalked, attacked at every turn.
Who's really like attacking fucking Kat? We're making fun jokes about her, but is anyone actually going like spy ops on touching the poo with fucking Kat? No one is.
How you think I should have kids?
Kids?
How irresponsible would it be for me to have a child and put them into the situations that I am in? What did they do to
You know, I kind of agree with that because you would totally neglect the shit out of any child you have. You are too much of a narcissist to acquiesce to some other person or creature having more attention than you yourself is. You would feel jealous of that child for getting more attention than you yourself are getting. So it's nice of you to finally admit that you would be bringing that child into an unhealthy environment, because I totally agree with that. That kid would have child care protective services called on them quite a bit because it's not a safe environment for a child to be in. You don't even have a fucking toilet that works in the house, Phil.
Deserve that.
You don't have a shower that works properly.
That would be something they're forced into a life of drama. You know
because
what I mean?
Your dad's a fucking dumbass asshole and a laughingstock.
You know? So it shouldn't be. When you think about that, like, whoa, that shouldn't be a consideration.
No one would actually attack the kid.
It absolutely is. I got to think about things fairly and logically. It's like, I can't have a kids and stuff. How could I? How could I ever have that? And that's fucked up to think that way, but that's how I have to think. You know? It's really messed up, man. So, that's what I mean. Like, I just want to be left alone with my audience to do the content I do. I don't want to be involved in the hate circles.
The majority of the views his videos get is from us. It's not from its actual fans. And then he has this ideal that he has more fans than what he does because, like, there's so many views on his videos.
Just never let go.
When it's just people like us fucking watching him and laughing.
It's easy to just make fun of Phil. It's easy to just, make the meme about him, make the joke about him, make the crack about him. So now, do we see the end result of that? When I become the butt of every joke.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's everyone. This false equivalency is insane. It's absurd. Because people making fun of him, it led to someone paying his bills and getting the internet turned on and off for a couple seconds. Oh my god, the humanity. He could have been seriously hurt, guys. Because someone paid his fucking bill and flipped the internet switch on and off a little bit. That is what he's crying here, that like, oh, because everyone makes fun of me so much on the internet, it's led to this horrific thing of my internet being fucked with a little bit. God forbid. And most of us, well, yeah, it's funny, but most of us probably aren't going to, like, agree that the guy should have done that. Yeah, if, like, one troll, he thinks we're such a fucking hive mind that, like, because Joe Schmo Detractor laughed at him once, that person is directly somehow responsible for a rogue detractor touching the poo. That's not the fucking case here at all, Phil. That person was motivated outside of the Detractor community to touch the poo, probably because of shit that you said yourself, and like probably was an ex-fan or something like that. So shut the fuck up.
Even though I'm not doing anything that's wrong or polarizing, I'm not even pissing anyone off. You get people like this crazy
Exactly,
person at
Wesley,
Comcast
exactly.
who thinks it's okay.
He wants to be a public figure and reach out for tips and donations and shit, but he expects like super, like he expects all the privacy, like, and that doesn't work. It's like, there's a word for it, but it's like that's not how that works, Phil. If you want to be a public figure, you forfeit all your privacy when doing so, and you can't shit on people for bringing up stuff you yourself said because you're trying to be a public figure and be crowdfunded and everything, you know?
To mess with me like this because everyone on the internet doesn't like me. Do you understand? It's direct cause and effect. Can we look at this situation now from a big picture
Actually, I don't. Causation does not mean correlation, Phil. You do realize that, right? Just because people laugh at you, that doesn't mean that caused this to happen. That's not the case.
Say,
you
wow,
don't really know
what
what you're talking about.
Because everyone just constantly makes fun of him, even though he's not doing anything to cause it.
This is a desperate plea for like every single detractor to leave him the fuck alone. Because someone fucked with his internet, guys. Oh my god, it's so bad. Have you ever heard of anything worse happening to someone online than having their internet turned on and off at random?
Because of that, now there's legit.
No one's gonna stop trolling you because this happened because one person decided to do something.
To act like this and do this constantly.
This is so desperate.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it shouldn't have ever been allowed. YouTube should have never allowed this bandwagon mentality of drama, conspiracy, hatred, bullying.
Conspiracy? What conspiracy? Okay, maybe you're like a little correct on the whole bullying thing. Possibly. I'll give you that a little bit. But conspiracy? Like, we're taking shit that you've shown us yourself. We're taking actual evidence and compiling it that if this was a court case, you would be found guilty of playing WWE Champions. Because of all the damning evidence. Granted, it's circumstantial evidence, but it is circumstantial evidence, but because of the huge amount of circumstantial evidence, you would be found guilty of playing WWE Champions, and this court finds you guilty. I don't have a gavel, so it's like... But what a piece of shit. Oh, okay, it's like, he wants extreme Nazi-like strict internet laws to be like heavily monitored, and he doesn't realize he would be the first to be kicked off of YouTube based on these strict laws and moderations that he would have called for in the first place. So all the shit that he wants to impose on you, all the shit and restrictions he wants YouTube to impose on YouTube itself and the internet in general, he would be the first shit can because of those restrictions.
Bullying. That's the word for it.
Bullying.
The word for all of this. It became monetized bullying, and that should not be allowed.
I'm not getting money, Phil. A lot of detractors are not getting paid for laughing at you, dumbass. What a fucking ugly ass mug too. Just a great fucking pause. But most of us aren't getting paid for this. I'm not, this isn't my fucking job, Phil. I have a real job that I do. I contribute to society, even though it's not like a glamorous job. I'm still contributing to society. I still get a paycheck, a reliable income that I can rely on a day-to-day basis. As long as I show up, I'll get paid. Imagine that, Phil. I don't have to worry about popularity contest on YouTube or anything like that, because I would be broke in a month. I've never been super popular on social media sites and shit like that, right? I haven't. Not at all. Like, I've been terrible with social media and popularity contests and all that stuff. That's one of many reasons why I don't monetize my shit. And the second reason is I don't need to.
Anywhere. It shouldn't be on YouTube. It shouldn't be on Twitch. It shouldn't be on any social media sites.
But he'd be fine. Apparently he'd be fine if every detractor was not monetized and was unable to make money on it. He'd be fine with us quote unquote bullying him if we weren't making money but still doing the same shit? Apparently.
No monetized bullying.
Agreed. This is a 41-year-old man crying about bullying. Like his mentality hasn't changed since fucking high school, apparently. They're still making money, making fun of me, dude, the teacher.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you he was not a bully in high school. I don't think he was. He was too much of a pussy in real life. He loves to like play it up like he's this like big strong guy, and I was lifting weights and no one fucked with me. Everyone's afraid to fuck me and all this bullshit stories. I'm like, no, he was teased and mocked as a kid. Guaranteed.
It's messed up that they have turned it into an almost industry of monetized bullying, right? And it's like, what power do I have? I'm just the little small guy.
See, he's mad that detractors are making more money than him. And, well, the ones that are monetized are making more money than him, probably. Or maybe not. Some of them might be. I don't know. But he's mad they're getting more views than him. That's what really pisses him off. He's mad detractors are making any money based on him in general. And that they're getting more views and are more popular than he is. That's what really pisses him off, though. The fact that you got Detractor Beam, that being said, Meerkat, Shinko, like all these people that are way more popular than he is. Granted, they don't have the huge number of dead subscriptions on the channel, but they have way more interactivity. They have way more people in their chats talking to them. Way more than he ever will.
Right? If I don't respond, they continue the bullying. And it never goes away, and you know what I mean? If I do respond, I fuel the bullying. So it's like, no matter what I do, if I respond, if I don't respond, it stays and it continues, right? Like right now, there's people.
I mean, even if he just like stopped responding altogether, it's not gonna fully stop the like quote unquote bullying, but it's never gonna fully stop us because like we're obviously he's still a shitty person. He's still going about doing his shitty activities. The only way he can really stop people from bullying him, quote unquote, is to actually change and be a better person. But he refuses to do that. So we're going to keep doing it until he actually changes for the better. And that's going to take a while to convince some people that he's actually changed.
Get pissed off that I will not respond to their bullying. I've been completely ignoring certain groups of people who every day talk about it.
Rich, Review Tech USA and Boogie are both technically more successful than he is in terms of subscription numbers, in terms of money they're probably getting from YouTube in general, not counting tips, of course, because tips are the biggest liquidity of his business, right? That liquidity, like, the reason he makes more money than them is because he begs all the fucking time. That's the only reason. If we were comparing just the YouTube income from both of these people, Rich and Boogie probably make more money than him. They probably do. Because their videos probably have more viewers and more subscribers, clearly, and probably more ad money.
Going of hatred.
Well, because he's begging all the time.
But that drives them nuts. So now they'll bring it up again, and they'll bring it. You know what I mean? They're never satisfied. So why is it allowed? Why is there entire shows of that on YouTube? Why is that not stricken from YouTube immediately?
Why are you allowed then? Because if all detracting is banned the next day, right, then you would not be able to say a negative word about bigger YouTubers abusing your own fans, and you would violate one of these rules and be kicked off the YouTube just as much as we were, Phil. Because you wouldn't be able to talk shit about anyone on YouTube or in politics or anything like that. The second you say something about some popular person on Twitch or YouTube, you would be kicked off just as much as we would be then.
Or flagged for demonetization. You can't make money on it. So make the content, but you ain't going to get anything as a result of this, right? That's what should happen. All of that content should be flagged, and once it's flagged for demonetization, guess what? They'll all go away. Because the only reason they're doing it is for money. They don't do it for free, for fun. They want to make bucks on it. That's why they're doing it, right? So that's exactly what should happen. But is YouTube doing that? So the cycle continues. I sit here, I do nothing. I just play games, have fun, chill with my audience.
That's not what you do. That's not your actual content. You have brainwashed yourself into convincing yourself that's your actual fucking content when that's not the case.
drama, and I'll, respond to that. But I'm not going to sit here, like, for example, I didn't even watch that Turkey Tom documentary on me. I'm not going to, right? Yeah, everyone talked about it. And now Turkey Tom got additional videos out of it just because you guys talked about it.
He got one extra... No. He got one extra video on it because you shit-talked him, Phil. That's how this works. If you had not mentioned it at all, there would not have been an extra video based on it. You do know that, right? You decided to criticize and threaten Turkey Tom without even watching the goddamn documentary in the first place. And so he made an extra video based on that because you shit-talked him. That's how that worked. Oh, I didn't say anything. You did, though. Like, he has this way of subtly... Like, it's not super overt, but it's still subtle. Like, just the way he's not doing it consciously, but just the way he talks is very, like, negative, right? The way he phrases sentences, and he's very king of semantics. So he'll be like, oh, no, I didn't threaten you, but he really did threaten him. And any normal person can see that he threatened him, right? But he loves like, oh no, I didn't do anything. You're like, yeah, you really did though. And he just doesn't see it. And I think that's autism. I think that might be just his autism coming in. Because like, oh no, I didn't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you really did though. But you didn't write out and say, Turkey Tom, I threaten you. Like, just because he didn't say that, he can claim that he didn't threaten him. But he really kind of did.
And I responded. Right? So that's the cycle. It's not even I have to bring it up anymore. It just comes up in natural conversation, and that becomes their content for the day. Right? It's fucked up. It really is.
Yeah, exactly. But based on his own draconian laws and rules, he would be kicked out. So he would have to be like impervious to those rules.
Here's what I will tell you all. First of all, I apologize I was not here on time today. I'm going to tell you now what we're going to do today because it's a very different schedule. But good news is we're going to get this lingering Starfield done with. All right, we are. We're finally going to finish it today, have it done and stuff like that. Okay, but here's the.
Exactly. I'm sorry, my throat is... But that's another thing. It's like, he records the content. He puts it out to YouTube. All we do is take the content and play it again. We're not even downloading... We don't have to take shit out of context. We don't. We really aren't doing that. We're just taking a clip of it. We're not even downloading the video. We're just... I'll start at this point. I'll end at this point. Oh, it's out of context. It's really not, though. You can watch it in the context. You can watch the whole fucking video. It's not going to make what we clip any better. It really is not going to be any better of a context. Right? It's not going to make the whole... It's not going to, like, negate what he said. Because he'll say some bullshit, dumbass, negative, insulting thing. And he'll upload that to YouTube. And all we do is repeat or play the video of him saying that negative thing that he himself uploaded to YouTube. And then he'll say that we're making conspiracy theories and taking it out of context. That's not really what he said when it's right there on an actual fucking video what he fucking said. That's what he said. That's what he meant. He himself said that. You can go and watch the whole fucking video if you want, but we don't have the time to watch a 2-hour fucking video just to get to this one point. That's why we do it, dummy. And you yourself can go and watch it all you want, and you'll see that it's still basically what he fucking meant. Context doesn't add anything.
It's the deal, all right? Here's what I can promise you, all right? Here's what I absolutely can promise all of you. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to go cry in a corner. I mean, it hit me bad today, and I almost did that. Like, that's literally almost what I did today. Thankfully, my wife pulled me out of that. Okay, and I am so grateful to have her in my life forever.
Oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, she'll be in your life forever, right? Forever, just like Leanna was, right, Phil? Right.
I mean, so.
But Phil, I want to let you know something. From one detractor to you, and I like to think that I speak on the behalf. I don't have the authority to, of course. I'm not King Detractor, some bullshit like that. Nowhere close. But I think a lot of detractors would agree with me here that we don't want you to go anywhere. We don't really want you to go away from the internet, Phil. Some people might be actually wanting you to for your better interest or whatever. I don't want you to go anywhere, Phil. I want you to keep making fucking YouTube videos until you're 60, 70 years old. You're going to be the next fucking Perry, whether you like it or not. You're going to be a laughing stock of the internet. And we're going to get as much laughs out of you that we do for the longest running fucking sitcom you can think of. Even longer, right? I don't want you to go anywhere because it's like we enjoy. How do I say this? You put your videos out on YouTube for people to enjoy them. It does not matter what the reasons are for why people enjoy your content or not. If people are enjoying your content, you should be happy people are enjoying your content. And us as detractors do technically enjoy your content because we get lots of laughs and we can make content based on your content like I'm doing right now, right? I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not doing this because it's my job. I'm doing this because usually it's entertaining because it's fucking funny to sit back and laugh at you. And it's great to have like-minded people in our stream chats talking with us, engaging, and building a community together so we can shit on you, Phil. And that is basically within our right to do so because most of us don't touch the poop. Right? A very small minority of detractors are out there actively trying to harm you or trying to fuck with you in some way or another because you pissed them off to such a fucking extent that they felt they had to act. And I don't condone people doing that, but I understand why people would do that. Okay? Most of us just love to sit and laugh at you. And we'll do these silly little streams. We'll watch you and laugh at how paranoid and nuts you are getting. But at the end of the day, we do technically enjoy your content. Not for the reason you would like to think so, because your actual gameplay is boring as fuck. But for parts like this, where you fucking bring up your own drama, that's on you. And we talk about it because you brought it up. If you didn't bring it up, we wouldn't have talked about it. You see how this works, Phil? You get that, right? You do? So I don't want you to go anywhere. I don't want you to stop. I don't want you to give up. Because imagine how boring this internet would be. Imagine how boring YouTube would be. Sure, we would probably move on to another lolcow here or there. Maybe we'll go watch Boogie or review Tech USA or Wings. But do you know why you were ideal chosen for the lolcow podcast? Why it's been difficult for them to replace you? It's not because you're a huge success. It's not because you're well known. Well, a little bit. It's because you're so fucking deranged and paranoid and delusional, Phil. You are the most delusional lolcow there is. So all these hot takes and questions they would ask you, your answers would be fucking hilarious. Because you don't live in the same reality everyone else does. At least people like Wings and Boogie, to some extent, are more grounded in reality than you are. You would have some absolute batshit insane takes on a lot of the questions asked about stuff. Like, they would ask you about, the economy or inflation or politics or something like that, and you would have some batshit insane takes because you don't live in the same reality we do, Phil. You don't. That's why you were irreplaceable on the lolcow podcast, not because you're some big name internet fucking celebrity. This is full on paranoia. That's all this is. And you are mentally ill. Do I want you to get better? That's a tough one, actually. If you actually if he actually got better and actually changed for the better, and I'm talking real change, not this fake pushy shit where it's like, I changed, guys, I changed. You didn't actually change. Not yet. You haven't. You still the same asshole you always were. If he actually started getting, like, therapy and mental health help, and actually, like, started taking some medication and improving his content and actually started becoming positive, I would stop detracting on him. I would stop making content on him. Because at that point, he improved himself to a point where there's no need to continue talking about him. Now, every once in a while, would I talk about shit he did in the past? Yes. But I wouldn't talk about current day stuff if he actually changed like that. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think Phil's ever going to change. And until the day he changes, I'm going to keep making content until I get bored. I'll say that. But I'll still, even if I stop making content, I'll still be watching other detractors. I'll still be watching this fucking train wreck until it finally crashes and derails. Because eventually, it's going to derail. And maybe that concludes with him dying on stream someday. Or maybe he'll actually have some sort of humility and get a real fucking job. I don't know. But wherever this train is headed, I'm going to at least be there watching it. And a lot of us are going to be. So, no, to answer your question, Phil, I don't want you to leave the internet. I don't. Unless you actually improve yourself and decide that it's not good for your mental health to keep being on the internet, I don't want you to leave. Keep making your fucking videos. Because they don't hurt me. I don't care that... Well, I shouldn't say that. How should I say this? I don't get upset that you're making money. Okay? God. I don't. I don't care that he makes money. If he was a legitimate game Let's Player and was just sitting there playing games and talking with his audience, and his audience were donating money because they enjoyed his content, that would be great. That's what's supposed to happen. That's the normal. But because he cons his audience and does all this fake emergency bullshit and e-begs constantly, that's the part a lot of people have problems with. Phil, if you stopped e-begging all the time and just trusted your audience to give you money based on whether they actually enjoyed the content or not, then that would be like what you should be doing, Phil. And maybe, just maybe, if your audience is not donating, that's something like the audience is trying to tell you they don't like this particular game. Or you need to improve as a content creator or be more engaged in your chat instead of game facing straight at the screen, not talking to anyone.
Thank you for understanding what's going on. A lot of you reached out to me and said very nice things. I appreciate that. And I just want you to know I'm not giving up. I love what I do. This is the best thing that I've ever done for work. This is the most meaningful thing.
Yeah, he's not going to admit that he did wrong.
You know what I mean? Privately,
that would definitely be a big stop.
Is the most important thing. But publicly, absolutely, being a live streamer, content creator, having this relationship with you every day, enjoying games, sharing our passion, having meaningful discussions, right? Relaxing with each other.
Well, like, I don't even care that he's a bad gamer, right? Like, I'm not that great at video games myself. I play games on easy mode for some games, depending on what kind of game it is. If it's an action-y type of game, I'll probably play it on easy mode because I'm not that good at action games. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Even if you're the worst game player there is, that's fine. As long as you're if you're doing it on stream for an audience and you're doing this for a job, you don't have to be good at gameplay. As long as you're entertaining and you have a likable personality. And Phil doesn't have any of those things.
That is 100% so meaningful to me. I'm not going to give it up because of this kind of action. I refuse. All right? That is the antithesis of who I am. Remember, what I used to tell you guys is when people used to hate on me, stuff, it motivates me. The hatred, being told that I'm not good enough,
oh my god, the fucking king of hate bullshit.
When you say that about me, you actually give me strength. Because now my resolve is redoubled to prove you wrong. That I will
the
still be
level
here,
1
no
thing
matter
you
what.
stole from Keemstar, we
when
get
this
it.
world goes to shit, I will still be streaming. When all of my contemporaries are falling apart and they're demonetized and they can't make a living, I'll still be here. all right? Right now, if a chasm opened up in the middle of my front street and Satan came out of the chasm, for me, all right, I would jump into the fucking chasm with Satan. I would drag him down to hell. I would shove my hand up his fucking ass, all right? I would rip his head off like a fucking puppet. And then I would climb out of the chasm and I would turn my stream on to be with you guys. I don't give a shit about...
You know why he would do all that? Is because he has no other options. That's why. That's not something to be proud of, Phil. You literally have no other options. What is the other option? Going to work at McDonald's? Let's face it, at this point, retail is going to be the best option you have. And you refuse to live within your means enough to get a part-time job at a retail place. Because let's face it, you're not going to get a management position after such a long gap in fucking employment. He doesn't have anything else. So he's kind of right in saying this because, let's face it, this is all he can fucking do. Like, yeah, and also, like, what the fuck was that? Like, he fucking has some sort of fucking scat ass fetish of some sort. Like, he really fucking does. It's fucking bizarre, right? And let's be honest, like, you're a fucking pussy who backs out of every fight you've ever been in your whole fucking life. So you would get your ass kicked pretty easily if you were in any sort of confrontation with anything. Much less the fucking devil itself. Yeah. No, if the devil exists, which I don't believe in the devil, but if the devil supposedly exists, and he'll kick your fucking ass and you'll be going to hell. That's long story short. Which, if there is a hell, you'd probably be going there, Phil. Congratulations. But yeah, you have no other options. You refuse to get a job and go back into the workforce and work your way up from level 1 again. Because you're only going to get entry-level jobs at this point, and that's like, fine, work yourself up to get a better, more reliable job, but he refuses to do that.
Any of this bullshit. None of it is ever going to stop me. You understand? I'm going to make content how I want to for as long as I possibly can. It will be me who decides when I stop making content. Nobody else. Me. I will determine that date. All right? It will be
That's
me.
fine.
So
That's
that. Doesn't matter what people say or do.
Again,
what kind of nonsense
we don't care if you're making content or not.
I get. None of this matters.
I don't want you to go away.
Be here to chill with you.
Not for the same reason you would want, but
so is my life.
Maybe that's just me being like very negative, not negative, hateful, I guess you could say, because like I want to see him continue to suffer in a way, not because, well, like I've said before, like, I'm sorry, I'm going off on tangents, but like, DSP is the one motherfucker, like, I'm not a negative person, I'm not a hateful fucking person in real life, I'm really not. You can ask my boyfriend, usually, like, people, like, I would feel bad if I was bullying someone cyber that didn't, like, that I felt didn't deserve it, right? Like, that's why I don't really talk about other lolcows that much. I mean, like, I'm sure they probably deserve it too, whatever. But with Phil, there's no feeling bad about it because he just, like, I hate to say it, but he deserves it. He deserves all the shit and then some that comes at him. And, like, I just hate to say that, but it's true. So it's like, seeing him get his just desserts, the karma that's finally catching up with him, is like a joy to see in real time. It's like you're watching a train wreck and you can't look away from it. But you know that train deserved it and that this is all karma that's finally catching up with him. Like, that's the best way I can describe it.
I said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's actually true. And I told you the story and it really is true, right? So there you go, all right? For me, and this is the truth, the actual worst part.
You want to know something funny, Wesley? I guess based on, like, in the old-timey days when the Bible was written and everything like that, the actual definition of gluttony back then was, like, hoarding wealth. So it's being, like, gluttonous in terms of, like, wealth and money and holding on to that and not, like... So it works both ways gluttony does for Phil. It works in the normal food way that you're thinking of, and it also works in, like, hoarding money and assets and stuff.
All right? About all of this. The worst thing that would happen to me ever would be if people didn't care. That if I turned on my stream one day and there was no one on the other side. No one cared about me. No one wanted to hang out with me. No one wanted to hear my thoughts and see me play a video game. No one, that's the date when I realized that's not worth it anymore, right? Let's just end this all and turn it off for good. That'll be the day, all right? But that's not what's happened. Sure, I'm less prominent now. Sure,
no one is trying to get you to like remove you from the internet.
But I'm not a failure.
If people really wanted him to get removed from the internet, they would have done so by now. No one actually wants him to go away. They just want to mess with him a little bit and see him sweat.
Now, if you're a drama-dealing idiot who just wants to create problems for people on the internet, you could say I'm a failure because I'm not as big as I used to be. I didn't make the decisions that would have set me up financially for life or whatever. I could have been bigger, right? In my opinion, I feel like if I had changed who I was to do that, to become financially sound or whatever, my life would suck. I would do something I don't enjoy, right? I enjoy what I do. Doing these fun game playthroughs, enjoying multiplayer games, hanging out with you guys.
And that includes having a sponsorship instead of fucking e-begging, which is fucking ridiculous. Let's be honest.
Full discussions. I like the new React channel I'm doing now. It's been fun all year to do this kind of extra projects and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All of it. It's awesome. And you could judge for yourself, oh, well, you don't have this, you don't have that. You're right. But at the same time, I'm happy. I have a great home life. I have a great business.
Yeah,
here.
he's really not.
So your judgment's a failure.
And that's not,
sure.
You don't have to watch hundreds of hours of Detractor content to come up with that.
I'm lucky that I'm able to make a living doing this, while most other people cannot. They've had to find ways to monetize when, they couldn't do the content that originally.
Oh my God, Phil, the only reason you can afford to keep doing this as a job is because you beg constantly. Let's be honest. The reason he doesn't take sponsorships is because he can't get sponsorships. He might be able to get that, like, Raid Shadow Legends might be the only fucking sponsorship he could ever fucking get.
They wanted to do, whether that means hurting others, taking in product placements, and all kinds of crap that I feel devalue what you're doing on the internet, right? So, I'm not going anywhere. That's the promise and commitment I can make to all of you guys. I'm not, all right? I will always find a way, I will always find a way to keep going and keep making content.
Next year, DSP on Facebook Gaming.
All right? Doesn't matter where it is, because it may or may not be on YouTube.
That would be fucking hilarious, though.
I really like it here and want to keep all my content here, but who knows what might happen in the future. I don't know. We all know how messed up these systems are, and there's problems. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that YouTube made an error, and now a channel's suspended, and we got to work around it and stuff like that, right? But I'm going to make content, and as long as you guys are along for that ride with me, all right, it's going to continue, and it ain't gonna stop. Everyone around me, all the buildings will crash and crumble down, and everyone else will be, canceled and kicked down.
And he thinks this is like a good thing when it's really not.
Fair enough.
That's not a good thing. That just shows how desperate you are. That this is really your only fucking hope for income because you're so unemployable. That's all this shows.
All right. That's what I have to say about it. Now,
okay, dude.
Let us talk about what we're going to do today, because now today is completely screwed up. It's 2:13 p.m. My stream only goes till 4 p.m. So we're going to finish this podcast. We'll probably go till around 3 p.m.
Oh, thank fuck.
And have an official end of the podcast. And then what we're going to do is we're going to play Starfield, which only has, from I'm to understand, like 30 minutes left. It's like the final segment. You make a big critical choice. Then it leads into endgame, and then it basically leads us to the big end of the game, and then credits roll. Done with. So RPG remake like it was supposed to be. Game in my rotation, if you remember, coming up, I want to say it's December.
I hope we're done.
Question. I've seen comments on my videos and stuff. People ask me, well, aren't you going to play Lords of the Fallen? Because you said you were going to play the Lords of the Fallen. You said it was kind of a given. And now, it's not even in your schedule. You're
no one cares about Lords of the Fallen.
Like, there was like a couple weeks where there was hype, but people were talking about the graphics weren't good, wait for a patch. And then basically once, that hype in October died, I haven't heard anyone talk about it at all. And now here we are with opportunity to play other games. People are like, play RoboCop or play this. And I'm not really hearing a big consensus of people saying Lords of the Fallen. Again, I'm not against it.
Where's RoboCop, Phil? Why don't we see fucking RoboCop
then? It's just that people don't seem to want it. So I'm not going to play something unless there's a calling for it, and there really hasn't seemed to be.
Maybe, just maybe, you would be more successful if you played games you actually want to fucking play instead of relying on Dents to ask you to play certain games, and you play certain games, and it turns out it's way too fucking late because by the time you actually fucking played the game people wanted you to play, it's too late and they already lost interest and are on to watching someone else play it. Maybe you should do that.
For your favorite playthroughs of this year, okay? Not games, like what was your favorite game of the year? No. What were the favorite games I played? What was the playthrough that I created?
No one's going to do the work for you to do a DSP's top 10 favorite playthroughs. No one's going to do that, Phil. That's your job to fucking pick and do. That's not up to them.
So please nominate. Now, the
you
other
lazy
thing,
fuck.
If you like my React content, Obviously, this week was a good week for you.
I really
Not only
don't,
did we have the
actually. Your React
Apocalypse
content's
Marathon
like
back on
some of the
Friday,
worst.
and that was fun. But now we have the regular React Day that happened on Sunday, and new videos of that have been going live all week. And then we've got a food vlog going live for the month of December. But I need to know what you want to see me review. So please give me your feedback. It's a members-only thread on that channel, so if you're a member, you can find it right in the members tab. Please post up there, and then when I get that feedback, probably starting next week, I'll begin to watch. Obviously, because I started so late, we don't really have time for a million segments and things like that. Here's what I'm going to say. Please today support my streams if you can, because of all the
Oh, this
happened with me
idiot.
being all messed up in the head this morning.
Oh
I
shit,
didn't
did
do my
that show
regular stream
that?
Mario RPG. So I'm
Crap.
behind 3 gameplay streams, and it's
I didn't mean
speeding
to
all
actually
up,
hit that.
schedule-wise and everything
I
else.
was checking
So
something
today,
out.
Please, if you like me and my content, please support it. There's many ways you can do that.
Sorry about
you can
that.
engage with the content by liking the videos and streams. You can leave comments on the videos. You can talk with me in chat. That's all well and good, and it helps a lot. Also, you can go above and beyond by doing things like super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, and tips. If you didn't notice, look what happened again. So I have a day yesterday that's not a normal day. So no one joins as a member, and now we're down to 501 again, and we're on the edge of going below 500 members again.
That's your fault. You're the one who chooses your own fucking schedule, and you could have played a game still.
Again, because of this. And again, whose fault is this? It ain't yours and it ain't mine. If I was able to sit here and make constant...
Like, I prefer buying physical games over digital games most of the time, especially if it's a game I know I'm gonna like. So, like, and then granted, I have a massive backlog of games I still have to play, but I at least have them, like, on display on my bookcases and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
normal
I
content.
usually don't
like
get the collector's edition unless
we
it's
wouldn't
like a
have this
game
dip.
I
But now we
absolutely
have this
love.
dip because of this idiot. So please, today, consider becoming a member, maybe gifting a membership to your fellow viewer. It would be a great way to help the channel. Of course, the final thing here is tips. All right, there have been some streams this week where the tips have been great, and others where it's been like
Tips.
next to
Oh,
nothing.
let me beg
And that's,
some
again,
more
not anyone's fault.
tips.
Normally,
This
there's
is why
peaks and
people
valleys when it
don't
comes to
like
support.
you,
But when
Phil.
I'm
This
not
is why
consistently
people
doing what
fuck
I said
with
I was
you.
gonna do,
Is you
screws it up. I was
constantly
supposed to play
begging
one
for
game on Monday night,
money.
and I played a different game, right? And everything's been screwed up constantly this week. So if you can, please support the streams today in some way. It sure would be great if you could tip. That would help me for my day off tomorrow. You know,
Oh my
groceries
God,
and
this
I
is
gotta do tomorrow. I gotta
begging.
get groceries and pet supplies. I have to go to the pet store tomorrow. There's some things that I'm low on.
How much fucking food does Jasper eat in one day? That's my question.
Yeah. So, and thank you, Robbie. Appreciate that. David Barclay.
Thank you and
$5
fuck
super
you.
chat. He says, X shooter Sergio 20 months as a member and says, hey Phil, what's going on, Sergio? Good to have you here today. Irish Zombie 81, a $2 super chat. Good for you, Phil. F your haters. Enjoy your vids. I don't even say F the haters. I don't care. Like there's a difference between. I actually, you know what? I think that is the difference between old Phil and new Phil. Old Phil used to be like, just F the haters. Anyone who doesn't like me, F you. Right? That's what I used to say. And
Oh,
honestly,
if he treats us better, we're gonna treat him better, right? No, you're still a negative piece of shit. You haven't actually changed, Phil.
that's kind of why I reacted badly to things like this is how you don't play and stuff like that. Today it's kind of like, you go ahead and you do what you want to do.
Yeah, when you could have
power to you.
monetized it, this is how
Go
you
for
don't
it.
play.
Just
If
leave me
you
out.
played it, if
I
you
just wanna sit here and
smarter.
do my thing. Leave me alone. Let me make my content. Let me hang out with my audience, right? And
We're not gonna
that's
leave
what's
you
important to me.
alone because you're still a piece of shit and you still are constantly emotionally abusive to your fans and you're fucking manipulating them. That's
Not
why.
all that nonsense, all that white noise, and all that back then. That was the old me. And now I don't care about that anymore. Just do it. Make the content. I don't give a shit. Leave me alone. So no, not F the haters anymore. Now.
Oh, I don't care. Well, then I want to make, like, there better not be any more fucking copyright strike downs in your name in the fucking future then, Phil.
Just hey haters, if you exist, I guess good for you.
If you
If that's really
exist.
how you
Yeah, we
feel,
don't exist,
using
Phil.
your time is valuable to you in life and you think you're getting something out of it, I guess go for it. I don't.
Yes, because me detracting, quote unquote, and making content, I do this on a fucking 24/7 basis. That's all I eat, think, sleep, or drink is fucking this, right? I constantly making streams every single fucking day, and when I'm not, it's videos, and I have dreams of fucking Phil on my sleep and all this bullshit, right, Phil? I don't actually have a job. I don't actually have friends. I don't like play games or watch TV or any of that stuff. I just watch you, right, Phil? No, that's not the case.
Don't care. Leave me alone and have a nice life. Grim Ripper is here today. Grim Reaper,
they're so
25 months as a
fucking
member,
manipulated.
said,
like people
"Hey,
joke
stop by to
about
say
the
what's up.
whole
Well, good to
cult
see you here,
thing,
Grim
but
Reaper.
this
I hope
really
you're
is
doing
like
all
a cult.
right."
They're so brainwashed to
I also
believe
received a
everything
super
he
chat, but it
says,
disappeared, and for some
and
reason,
not look
it
at
hasn't
any
popped
of
up
the
in my
mounds of
queue.
evidence against it.
Probably some kind of a weird delay, because it happens. Sometimes there's issues with delay on the. So who was it? It was CJ Extreme 98 did a super chat and said, "Phil, I'm planning on becoming a member. I'm curious if you reacted to a Smash Brothers documentary on YouTube." No, I have never.
All right, shut up, Phil. All right, I think that's about it for today. My throat is actually kind of hurting pretty fucking bad from screaming at this fucking moron. And I'm getting a little hungry. So I'm gonna leave and get some food to eat, okay, guys? But seriously though, thank you everyone for joining with me on stream. Thank you everyone for watching in the future. Thank you everyone for talking on the chat and interacting with me, because I like interactivity, dude. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. I still hate saying that. I don't think I'm gonna keep saying that. Fuck it. You guys know. Like, if you like my content, like, just put a like or subscribe or whatever. I think I don't have to say that all the time. I think people know. Yeah, this is just a weird one. I obviously I got really pissed off at the whole depression thing, and then you got this odd, maybe it's a troll, maybe he's just fucking making this for sympathy and making shit up. I don't know. I really don't know. I honestly, my final thoughts of the day, I'm Jerry Springer, guys, is I think someone was trolling him in some aspect. I don't really think it was an actual Comcast employee, to be honest. Maybe someone hacked like an actual Comcast employee's thing to fuck with him that way, but I don't know if it's... I don't know. I don't think his narcissism would allow him to 100% make this up on his own. Plus, I think he's kind of too stupid to even do that himself. I think he would have had to have some kind of help or something. So, I don't think he's 100% making this up. But, on the other hand, them paying a bill for you is not identity theft. It's not theft at all. They still paid a bill for you in the long run, so who cares, Bill? I don't know. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you for starting, and have a good day.